Yo, yo, yo! That's not my intro. Wait, what's my intro? Wait, chat, what's my intro? I don't even have an intro. Am I even really a content creator if I don't have an intro? Dude, what's my intro? Let me ask ChatGPT. Hold on. ChatGPT. What is my intro for stream? Yo, what's up, chat? We're live, we're dangerous, and today we're gonna break game name wide open. Grab your snacks, buckle in, because this is about to get stupidly fun. That was great. No problems with that whatsoever. Honestly, I'm gonna say that every single time. W. Short and punchy for a quick start. All right, we're live. Time to cook. Let's go. Welcome back, degenerates. It's me, your favorite streamer name. Here once again to prove that skill issues are my lifestyle choice. Let's ruin some bosses and probably my sanity at the same time. You don't have an intro because you didn't fill the concerto bar. Oh, wait, how do you fill your IRL concerto bar? Perfect world, we realize that both these games suck compared to what indie devs are putting out, and that's a problem because they make so much more money. You say that, but I see one big reason, honestly, two big reasons, why this game is literally perfection. Stay Kappa. Are you guys excited for a nice and civil discussion about our favorite gacha games? I love nice and civil discussions. Oh boy. Sus camera angle? Don't know what you're talking about. Perfect camera angle. We can leave it on this all day. Hey, yo. Menless Zone Zero versus Gathering Wives? Bro, they're at least getting a male character next patch. What are we getting? I mean, we're getting a male character in like 2 patches. The first one since Brant. They had, when was their last one? Hugo. That actually wasn't that long ago. They actually get them pretty often. I mean, even though it's an A rank. Oh. Let me go run my dailies real quick while we're waiting. Where do my dailies go? Maybe I should turn on my game noise for a little bit too. That would be poggers. You go in the pan. Oh yeah, Panda too. Yeah, dude. Look. You can't flame ZZZ for not having male characters when we literally have less than them. What does that make us? ZZZ fans are insanely mad Monato's an A rank. I mean, I'm mad too. I don't want Monato to be an A rank. I want him to be an S rank. Make one of the new upcoming Gunner characters an A rank. Do we really need every Gunner character to be S? One of them can be A, surely. I mean, Pulchra. Everyone loves Pulchra. She's an A rank. What's wrong with making some of the Gunner characters A ranks? I don't have gear on my San Juan. Wait, I don't have gear on my Camellia either. Wait. I ain't got no gear on. Oh, that's on Lucia? Which one is she? Is she the mage or the tentacle one? I'll swap to this team. Works for me. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't too hyped for the new characters they released. I think I like the idea behind the mage. I'm not pulling for the tentacle girl. I'm not pulling for Tentacle Girl. I don't like her kid. Her kid looks slow. Honestly, yo, I don't know if this is a take or what. The octopus girl literally looks like Ellen. Is that a take? She actually looks like Ellen to me. Let me go, dude, I think it's hilarious that for Monato, they put a giant A on his chest to symbolize that he's an A rank. Wait, Mage Girl has a robot hand. Wait. Dude, why does she have Ishwen shorts? What is this, bro? She has Ishwen shorts. Why would they just copy the same shorts? Isn't that kind of weird? They both do? Nice. They're called rupture pants? What does that even mean? But do you not have the Chun-Li skin? I don't know. Why don't I have the Chun-Li skin? Too much money. I'm broke as fuck, bro. You think I have money? I don't even wail for these gacha games, bro. I don't even own half the characters I want to play. I literally have to go to your guys' fucking accounts so I can play the characters. You think I really have the money to buy skins? I'm broke as fuck, bro. No pants is Wuwa signatures. Wuwa signatures ZZ copying Wuwa. Lupa has pants. They're just riding her really hard. I thought you were a whale? In what world am I a whale? What? I'm like free to play deluxe. My Zani doesn't even have signature. The only signature I have on any of my characters... Oh wait, I have Camellias and I have Lupas. And the only reason I pulled Lupa is because I think we won the 50-50, so I said I'd pull it. Honestly, I kind of regret doing that, but it is what it is. Dude, on one hand, I kind of wish I had signatures so I could actually do like speedruns and stuff, but on the other hand, dude, I don't want to spend for that shit. It's not worth it. When support? Wait, Jifufu has the same pants, so all three of them have the same exact pants? Wait, that's funny. They seem to reuse their assets from one character to another. Wuwa has this with Carlotta and Chacona as well? Wait, really? Wait. Oh, you're saying like their dress is the same thing? Oh, the way it like folds and stuff. I didn't notice that. What the fuck? Or like the part of the... Is it the same? I actually can't tell. Hold on. It's similar. Like this little ruffling at the front. Now this one has the split. This one doesn't. I mean, it's kind of similar, but not really. Money for whaling goes to his figures behind him. I've made a giant return on investment in all that shit, bro. But you know what? Fuck it. You guys sub to me, I'll go spend on more figures. Thoughts? I'll go buy the Camellia one coming up. Actually, they released at what was it? The Kuro Fest? They showed a Chun-Li one that actually looked pretty good. It was like her pose with the umbrella. This thing? It looks pretty good. Should I go for R5 Shorekeeper signature? No. I don't think you should go for R5 any signature. What's the point? I think you beat the game at R1 any signature. I don't think you need R5, bro. What weapon do you use on Zani? Me personally? I use Abyss Surges. Where's my Zani? Ew, look at that cursed ass ratio. I use this thing. I don't have signatures, bro. I'm broke as fuck. I don't need signatures. You see this? My for love is on Cosmic Ripples. How disgusting. What is this, bro? Minus 40% damage for fun? Ew. We don't pull sigs? I mean, you don't need sigs. Just have hands. Just Donjin solo everything, bro. Just pull Brazen Brilliance for the Donjin. Just get Giga Cracked Echoes. It's chillin'. I'd be happy if there were more viable 4-star characters in Wuwa like ZZZ. What do you mean, bro? We got a... Sanhua? And then we got Sanhua, but with a longer rotation? And then we got a... Solo's the game. Pog. That's pretty good. There's like 8 placeholders right there. Those are pretty good too. They'll add characters to those slots one day. Ooh, 4 stars are better, but there's less of them? That's definitely not true, bro. You got... Panda's legitimately good for Ishwen teams. Poker's legitimately good. Piper's legitimately good. Who else? I think Seth is decent. Obviously Nicole, Sukaku. Oh, Lucy. Yeah, nah. That's not even close. Nah. The 4 stars over there are way better. Tell Io that Seth is only decent. Alright, bet I got you. You ready? This is gonna be the first thing. I'm gonna call him right now. I'm gonna tell him that. You ready? Alto is good. Kappa. Yo, let me fly. Dude, Mortefi is like probably legitimately the most overrated character in the game. That guy actually kind of sucks in every comp he goes in. Like, he's there mainly because we don't have like other good heavy attack damage buffers. But like, he's not like legitimately good. Yo, I got told to tell you that Seth is mid.
Who the fuck? who said that dog shit? Who said that rabbit ass dog shit? Who said that?
Wait, who was it? It was Leonard Link.
Ban him.
I can't ban him, bro. He's spitting. I saw that bird win tier list.
Get him out of here. 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 You know, we can't have this. We can't have this blasphemy in here, man.
Who's the worst 4-star? No, Ben. Who's the worst 4-star in ZZZ?
The worst 4-star, and I gotta look at the list. Hold on.
You don't even remember on top of your head?
I want to tell you Ben. I really want to tell you Ben, but like
I said, no Ben.
Putting in work.
No Ben.
No Ben.
Yeah.
No Ben.
Anton.
Let me see. Anton. Damn. No. Pan. The answer's Pan.
Wait, really?
Chat, the answer's Pan. The answer's fuck Pan. His only purpose is to buff Ishwen.
Base.
And if the moment they make another Ether support or another Rupture support, Pan's out of here.
Base, bro. He's my free-to-play option. That's my goat.
Nah. Aren't you an Anton main?
Yeah, well, dude, I have Anton, Soldier 11, and Ishwen is my 3 teams. So I use Panda Pokemon with my Ishwen. I use the wheelchair with Anton.
Yeah, but see, you're only doing that because you have to. If you had another option, you wouldn't have even built Panda.
Nah, he's my goat, bro. He looks cool.
Nah, Ben looks cooler.
Nah, Anton looks cooler, bro. Wait, Ben's kind of fun, though. I actually played Ben for the first time. I cleared DA with him. He was actually fun as fuck.
Ben's cool.
He's a cool-ass character.
Don't disrespect the Panda.
Dude, Panda's goated. I don't know why you're hating on Panda. That guy's cool.
You asked me who's the worst. Like, no one else is worse than him as far as an A rank goes.
You're supposed to shit on Anton.
No.
And then I was going to crash out.
Anton is Kamina from Gurren Lagann. I
He's
can't shit
goated.
on him. Like that's the one. Can't do it.
Wait, you remember the thumbnail I sent you earlier? That's literally Anton on it.
Yeah.
Anton's goated, bro. That's my goat.
He's cool. I like him, man. I like him. We saw a great clear. We were watching the Run and Bun tournament yesterday. We saw a really cool clear with Anton.
Wait, who were they using? Were they using the wheelchair?
Chat, do you guys remember who they were using? I know I wasn't streaming, but some of you guys were in the stream with Josh. That Anton clear, it was Anton, it was Nicole, if I'm not mistaken. Excuse me. And oh no, it was Mono Shock. There we go. Anton, Shingi, Rhinne.
Ooh.
Yeah. They put in work. I was like, wow.
Dude, I watched R2 play Mono Shock, like Haramasa. That comp looks super fun.
Yeah, he's goated at the game.
I need to learn to play how to play that comp. I was trying to play Mono Ice. I didn't know that Pompeii couldn't be frozen, so I was trying to freeze Pompeii, and I got confused when my combos weren't working.
Yeah, no freezing for you on that one.
All right. Anyway, I'm gonna get distracted. We're gonna go on a 4-hour monologue again. So let's go and get this show on the road. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to my audience?
All right. Cool. So, guys, I am EO, currently known as like the Seth propaganda guy. Okay. I go by many names, not on purpose, sometimes accidental, but the fighting game guy, if you will. I make Zenless Zone Zero content. It's really cool. I love watching cool stuff and awesome runs, and people do really cool things, cool combos, tech, as I call it, things of the sort. I am the inch collector. Don't ask what that means. And I also...
No. You can't just say that and not explain it. No.
Right
No, you're not. No, you're not. You're going to explain that one right now. No, you can't just say that, bro.
That.
You can't just say that. What the fuck?
Zhuyuan is my favorite character from Zenless Zone Zero. The Glue. I'm also known as the Glue if you want to, recognize that name. But ultimately, guys, all right, I'm just a chill dude. I'm a chill guy. Cool dude, all right? That's pretty much it.
Bro, you can't just skip past that. I'm not gonna let you dodo one. No, you can't, dude. No way. I'm more interested in that now more than anything. What the fuck?
Why are you interested in that? What the fuck? Like,
you brought it up, bro. Why did you bring it up? That's your fault.
I was introducing myself and chat just starts spamming inch collector. I'm like, fuck it. I'm also known as the inch collector. So now we're here, man. Now we're here. Now I could explain it to you, but I feel like honestly, it's so much more of a golden moment if you don't even know what it means.
Okay. I guess I'm Rhinne. I'm a gacha content creator. I play both Wuwa and ZZZ, and my nickname is the Inch Collector.
What?
Bro, I don't know what it means. I'm just gonna call myself that now.
Oh my gosh. It has a different meaning if someone else says it.
Nah, bro, I'm out there collecting inches. All right, anyway, no inch collecting for us. All right, we got 5 spicy topics for today. Me and you, we're going to be discussing Wuwa versus ZZZ. The 5 topics are going to be free-to-play friendliness, gearing systems, so echoes versus drive discs, character designs, character kits, and at the very end, we're going to say one thing we think that the opposite game should learn from each other. Let's start off with maybe even the most spicy one, free-to-play friendliness. You want to go first or should I?
I could take that one over. I could take. Are we engaging with chat as well? Does chat get a say-so on this, or is it just us? Because I feel like I think my chat would probably say Zenless, but I also don't know my chat, right? Chat in general. Like, how many of you guys actually play Wuthering Waves, right? Or you've dabbled in it? Because contrary to my audience, my answer would be Wuthering Waves. I think
really
that game is because I guess I'll explain it in this way, right? Zenless, it's very free to play friendly, but if we're talking about which one is the most free to play friendly, it would be Wuthering. And the reason I would say it'd be Wuthering is simply because of the fact that, like, in that game, not only do you have a very powerful MC that shifts or transforms into 3 different elements now, so that you can play whatever you need to any type of situation or advantage. the game itself is not as, I'll say, strict when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
the combat or the enemies. So if you
Right?
just have a very powerful character, you're able to just bum rush whatever you need to. You do have powerful characters from the 4-star options, your A ranks, like so Sanwa. Sanwa's pretty
Mm-hmm.
good. She fits into a lot of different scenarios. Varina, I think new players right now, they have you guys get that new banner, right? So like you can just pick whatever. Not only can you pick the new 5 stars that you want, but you could also pick the old 5-star that you want as well, or
Mm.
like at least select what you want to pull
It's
on.
not. It's
So you
not
have
the
the
the. Oh wait. Do you mean like you can pull whatever's like currently on banner for like that patch plus like the 1.x units?
no. So like the original standard 5 stars like Varina and Calcharo and all of them.
Right.
So you still have that. And then they also have like whatever the previous new player selector thing is. The only thing that
Mm-hmm.
matters though is that Shorekeeper's on there. So
Right.
like in Chain Li, however you want to spin it, a new player has the ability for free to just grab whatever they want to start off with at the very start of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Or progressively throughout the time of the game. But it's mostly just then 100% weapon banner if you want to count that too. But
Mm-hmm.
uh Wuthering is probably one of the only games that I've been able to play free to play or predominantly free to play without worrying about anything. Whereas in Zenless's case, especially in Zenless's case, losing that
Mm.
50-50 is so crucial because you're scrounging after that, and you don't even need it. It's just that you want it. And we lack certain characters in order to fill different roles. So a good comparison to this would be like Piper and Jane.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have Jane, you just play Piper. A lot of players who want to invest into Anomaly or like they really wanted Jane, but they already built their Piper, they just don't have a reason to pull Jane, so they don't. On the flip
Mm.
side of that, I was just talking to my chat about this earlier. We have Aftershock. So the only options for an Aftershock DPS right now is Sandby. When Seed gets here, it'll be Seed. But we don't have an A rank Aftershock DPS. So if you wanted to invest in Aftershock as a team comp, you have to pick one or the other. If you don't like both of them, then you just can't play Aftershock. And it is what it is. Anomaly we have an abundance of, attack we have an abundance of. Excuse me. And that's kind
Mm.
of it. Yeah, and
Uh,
then at the same time we do have Miyabi, I guess. So like, but that would be a very like situational thing, right? Like free to play starts, like with 2.0, what happened with that? If new players were coming into the game or returning players, this is the best time for you to start because now you can just grab Miyabi. And then right after, excuse me, right after that we had Alice. So it's like, okay, well, if you didn't get Miyabi, you can get Alice just as, or not just as, but second most powerful when it comes to the anomaly spectrum, and will carry you throughout the rest of the game.
Dude, I was so surprised you went for Wuwa that fast. I was not expecting that. I was expecting you to go for ZZZ. Damn. Okay.
Mm-mm.
I mean,
Now,
basically
if you would
everything
ask me
you.
like Genshin, I'd probably still say Wuwa, but
Well, you think Genshin is free to play friendly?
fuck no. I started playing that game again just to like, kind of start over because I started over with Moon. And so we've just been casually going through it. And my Wika was going away. We'd played it enough to get like maybe like 40, 50 pulls. But the very beginning of the game, I've gotten so conditioned, and I'm surprised Genshin hasn't changed this. Gotten so conditioned to Wuthering, to Zenless, even Star Rail. They just give you enough pulls to hit that new beginner banner. So
Hmm.
at the very least, within 1 hour of playing the game, you're guaranteed some 5-star character. Doesn't matter what it is, you're just guaranteed it. In Genshin, you gotta grind. Like, I mean, you're hitting AR 25, you're going through all of Mondstadt, you're
Hmm.
collecting all the chests, you're opening all the shrines, and then you can hit your pity to get your 5-star character. It's too much.
Dude, I actually I was so expecting you to say ZZZ, and I was gonna bring up all this stuff for Wuwa. I actually don't know what to say. You pretty much brought up everything I was gonna bring up. The one thing I will say is in the future they are adding. Wait, did you see that they're adding like another set of floors to tower?
Wait, what?
Yeah, so they're adding another 2 extra floors to middle tower specifically. Now, I don't know exactly what the
Mm.
numbers for that are going to look like, but that's probably going to mean that you need like an entire another strong team because you know that middle tower is so much harder to clear than the side towers are. So with the current state of the game, I think it's weathering waves pretty easily, like 100% weapons. The fact that comps are more freestyle, you can play quick swap, you can just throw any DPS in the game in there. Sonhwa comes to you for free. Mortefi is super easy to have access to. You can use like Donjin as a sub DPS. But I am curious to see how that'll change in like the upcoming future, especially as like Weebo got some changes to be like less friendly. We'll say they made it so it's harder to clear. Everyone got their scores essentially cut by like 60% with like not only the HP changes, but also like the way that they changed totems. It made those less like versatile. And then also they changed the ways that mobs spawn inside of Weewa. So there's like a slight delay between them, meaning that like buffs are less effective, and like the traditional AoE characters like Camellia and GN have like a little bit of a harder time in there. So there's been some changes that make it like less free to play friendly, but I still agree. I think Wuwa is like pretty free to play friendly. I think you can clear the game like realistically, like if you play like a few hours a day, you can probably clear the game in a month going all the way to tower. I don't think it's that hard. And then the 100% guarantee on signature is just so nice.
Yeah.
Damn, that was a
Definitely agree with
fast
you on
one.
that. Yeah, it was. I feel like when you kind of get a little bit more information or like you play it, it's easier to kind of pick and choose, especially like recently starting over. I started over in all the games except Starro. I made a new account in Zenless. I ran a new account in Wuthering. I ran multiple new accounts in Wuthering to be fair. And then I also did the same thing for Genshin twice. So it's
Hmm.
just like you quickly tell what's giving you or being more generous as a new player.
I was debating starting HSR, and I keep hearing like all the woes about like people trying to clear with like their old units and stuff like that. And I'm just thinking about the fact that I have like Dot Team. I have like I heard Kafka and Black Swan are only like viable if you pull for like the brand newest character, which I don't even know if I'm gonna be playing on this banner. So like I come back, I have all the old units. I have like Jing Liu and stuff. I feel like I'm gonna get cooked. um,
Dang, man, you might. I don't know. I don't know. Like, well, Jingli, you got a big buff, so
Oh yeah, I heard you.
that
Dude,
might
that
work in your favor.
invalidates all my old gear though, because I had to go swap her over to HP. I think, right? She's an HP scaler now.
Yeah, yeah, you got to go HP now.
Ooh, that's fucked up, bro. All right. Let's go straight into the second one, the gearing systems, echoes versus drive discs. You brought up you started on the last one, so I'll start on this one. I flip flop between the two. I think there's merits to both of the systems. That's kind of a cop out answer, honestly, but it's like I'll put it like this. If you're a more casual player, I think drive discs are a better system, but if you're trying to race to gear up a character, I think echoes are the way to go. The farmability of echoes is super nice. The fact that you can gain so many tubes and tuners from doing open world exploration is or just makes it so you can build up characters instantly. If I want to like start a challenge in Wuthering Waves and I want to build up a character in like let's say like 5 hours or something, and I'm on like a pretty new account, I can do it so easily. Sometimes you can get unlucky. I have had times where I spend like 12 hours or whatever and I get kind of shafted on luck, but that's generally not the norm. I was able to build for Lova in like 6 hours or whatever straight up from fresh. So I yeah, I think if you're a more hardcore player, I would rather go for echoes, but I think if I'm more casual, I prefer the drive disc system because I can just log in, use my stamina, see if I hit good stuff. If I don't, I just bin it, and if I do, I roll it like twice, and it's super easy and convenient there. I think one thing I will say about drive discs, outside of like the actual like leveling of it, I prefer the way that drive discs are handled inside of the game with how set effects work. Because I feel like echoes are just you have the specific biz set for that character, and that's the only thing you can run ever. Whereas in ZZZ, you can actually share the drive discs between multiple characters. Like let's say you have a Hormone Punk, for example, you can run that between a lot of the cast. You can run a Woodpecker between a lot of the cast. Branch and Blade is a good two-piece that everyone can use. But if I'm in Wuthering Waves, I have Havoc Eclipse. Havoc Eclipse is only usable on Havoc characters, and Havoc main DPS is at that. And outside of that, I'm getting no use out of the set. So, actually, honestly, now that I'm naming it, just based on the fact that drive discs are more versatile, and based on the fact that I just think it's an overall cooler system to be able to like mix and match like that and just use like even if they're like slightly worse or whatever, the fact that I can use other sets and don't necessarily have to farm for that specific biz, I think I'd like very narrowly give it to drive discs.
Yeah, I would if I were to like chime in with what you said. I agree with a lot of what you were saying. I was gonna say drive disc was the better gear system. I do think echo farming is a lot easier, and I think it's way more manageable because like you just pretty much farm whatever you want infinitely. But
Mm-hmm.
I think the actual spending resources in order to get what you're looking for as far as leveling it up, I think that's where a lot of people get really tedious, or rather the process gets
Mm-hmm.
really tedious. But to its own credit, uh, Zenless's like drive system farming for disc because you can't infinitely farm, that is really taxing, right? Like if I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking for, you mentioned Hormone Punk, and right now I'm just kind of like rebuilding my GUN a little bit. I'm looking for an attack disc 4. And if I don't have this, I have to go farm it. But farming in this game is abysmal because it costs, in my opinion, I think drive disc costs too much for the
Right?
stamina that you use and what you get from it. And so it's like the efficient way to farm disc is to basically farm something that's very universal, that
Hmm.
everybody can use, like you mentioned. So if you're looking for branching blade, a lot of characters can use that. Woodpecker, a lot of characters can use that. So you farm for something that you can get really good disc from no matter the set. And then you use all the trash pieces to go look for something else through the music store. But I think Bardic
Hmm.
Needle, which is a music store, that's the best version of like any type of gear hunting that I've had or seen in any of the gacha games recently. As long as you have the materials to look for it, I guess, right? Like it's
Right?
pretty lucky sometimes, but maybe if they gave us more of the calibrating tuners or just maybe reduce the amount of stamina that it takes in order to farm, that would be better. But I don't know, man. Weathering's ecosystem, I like it. You get so many more resources though. Like as far as like trying to level up stuff, right? The tuners.
Right?
I feel like you get a lot more tuners in Wuthering than you do in anything else. So
Hmm.
maybe what's the negative behind that? Is it just the grind or is it
So, kind of like ZZZ, where you have to like be daily gated for farming stuff. Once you run out of that initial surplus of the tubes that you get from doing open world exploration, the farming for those echoes slows down massively. I'm actually trying to farm my tubes right now up for my Concerella. I can show it. You're not gonna be able to see it. I have been farming for like the last, I don't even know how long. I want to say like 2 weeks or something. I have 56 yellow tubes, and I have, where's my purple tubes? I have 87 of the purple tubes. I've been farming for like 2 weeks. I've enhanced like 2 echoes since. It's such a gradual process if you're not doing the open world exploration, which is why I said like at the start when you're initially getting farmed up, echoes are much easier to deal with because you can just get those echoes super fast. You can get your initial set of characters up, built up if you're willing to grind the open world, if you're willing to grind those echoes. But once you get past that initial point, I feel like ZZZ, or it starts to swing more back in ZZZ's favor because I don't have that gate of having the drive to CXP over there, right? I don't think I've ever once really considered the drive to CXP as something that I have to worry about. But I think another thing with the ecosystem that I kind of have a problem with, the RNG inside of it. The difference between a low roll and a high roll. Are you familiar with like the different stats for like say like crit rate going all the way down to 6.3 all the way up to 10.5%?
yeah, you guys have high and low rolls.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think Genshin has the same thing. Genshin also has high and low rolls. Starro has I think mid and high rolls, but that you know, like it's just a lot all the way around.
Right. I was gonna say the difference between hitting like a low and a high roll right there, the difference between 6.3 and 10.5 is 4.2%, right? Which is almost that 4.2% is like pretty close to 6.3. That's almost an additional crit roll you're getting there from getting the lowest roll all the way up to the highest roll. And once you get to like the higher points where people are starting to min max more gear, you have to start going for that while also going for the substats on top of it, which is absolutely ridiculous. Now, to be fair, you don't need anywhere near that state of gear yet. But if the game ever does get to that point, that's going to be a massive headache. So I'm hoping we don't get there. But I think the infinite farming thing people bring up for echoes, I almost find that as like a downside because tuners and tubes are almost always the main gate you have
Yeah.
for these. Like the actual farming the echoes themselves is like a complete non-issue. I always have echoes that I'll be able to enhance unless you're like at the very start of the game or it's a brand new character releasing. I'm always tuner gated. I'm always tube gated. So being able to farm echoes in the open world infinitely doesn't really do anything for me.
I feel you on that, definitely. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Skins, wow. I was reading Skiz, thank you for the super chat. I was reading what she said, and then I also was trying to say sense. Skiz says it's the biggest problem with the ecosystem is the amount of substats present in the game. Dilution. You have all the base stats plus ultimate skill, basic attack, heavy attacks, ER percentages, etc. You know what? I never really thought about it that way either, but that does make a lot of sense, not skins. It does make a lot of sense as well because in Zenless, for instance, I just have to worry about my main stats, right? My actual main disk drive stat, and then the main stats that I'm looking for throughout Zenless. But in Wuthering, which like it helps, yeah, you know, if I'm playing a character like Jian, and it's like, oh, he cares about his heavy attack damage, or he cares about his basic attack damage, or his skill damage. Yeah, that's really cool to have that little bit of an extra boost. But the variations or the dilution, as she said, when looking for that stuff, it's a lot, which makes
Hmm.
excuse me. Now that I'm saying it, it makes way more sense why you guys have such a much more free or freeing echo grinding system, right? You can always go look for the physical echo as long as
Hmm.
you can, hop between worlds and do your own thing. But building that echo up is going to cost you a lot of resources.
Right. And then another thing is too, well, they did add some features to make it a little bit better recently, I will say. Like the main set selectors, I didn't think I'd like these that much at the start, but with them actually adding this, it makes the open world grinding a lot less tedious. So I will give that as a little bit of a plus towards the echoes as well. Something I didn't mention before. They actually give you enough to where you can legitimately just like not even bother farming sets. If you just have like the base echoes for those things, you can just build up a character. Like you go do an event, you get like an extra 10 of these. That's nice. That's generally going to be like a double crit echo if you end up getting like reasonable RNG there. Also,
Yeah.
one thing to keep in mind too is at least in the current state of the game, having only double crit and even without other substats is a reasonable place for your echoes to be able to clear endgame. You can, if you're like a Giga Sweat, you can clear endgame using only one crit stat, or even like having none if you want to be super troll. But I would say that as how should I put this? As bossing becomes harder, I can see the ecosystem having more problems in it. But because I don't feel like I have to go out of my way to grind echoes super hard, I think the problems don't feel like as exacerbated as they could be. Because going for like say 5 substats for a character, like let's take GN for example, because you mentioned him. I'd want attack percent, I'd want crit rate crit damage, I'd want heavy attack, and ER. Hitting a piece with all 5 of those is crazy. Getting double crit on a piece is already pretty difficult. It's like, what was the average? I want to say it's like if you're going like 2 then 5, it's like an average of like 13 or something echoes you have to enhance to even hit that. Just hitting double crit, hitting all 5 of those, or even like 4 out of 5 takes so long. Like there are very few pieces I have that are legitimately like 4 out of 5 substats. I'm not sure exactly. Do you know the math on hitting like say like 7 substats in ZZZ on a single piece?
Kate just told it to me literally yesterday. I don't think I know the actual math for it without trying to bring him up. So I'm not gonna lie to you and like tell you I know what it is and like even guess about it. I know
Mhm.
for doing that in general, it's pretty tough to do. And it's also pretty like, do you have a 4 stat line or do you have a 3 stat line whenever you start building into your drive disk inherently? So it is one of those things where like I guess that part matters because 4 stat gives you more, it gives you one more roll for free than a 3 stat line would do.
Hmm. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't follow that.
When you have your the whatchamacallit, what do you call these things? Your disk drives. So your disk drive, right? When you get it, it can come with 4 lines of stats or substats already, or it can
Right?
come with 3 substats.
Oh,
If
okay,
it
never
comes
mind. I
with
see what you're
4
saying.
substats, yeah, then you
Okay.
get an extra one. Yep.
Weekly mats too? Oh, this isn't really I wasn't gonna bring this up, but someone mentioned weekly mats. That doesn't really tie into like the like echoes versus drive discs specifically. That would go into like character building and whatnot. But I think I mean, Wuwa just needs to copy ZZZ. I'm sure you'd agree. Like, we should just copy ZZZ in that regard. There's no reason we can't just farm it.
Yeah. I mean, I love the and it took us a little bit actually to get that. What up, person? It took us a little bit to get it because what ended up happening with Zenless was I want to say it was like maybe around 1.4 is when we got it. The
Mhm.
burnout mode, and we also got the ability to pretty much what is it called in Notorious? When you go through Notorious Hunt, you get your free 3 ones, and then
Mhm.
like, hey, you want more? Well, then you can just burn your stamina in order to get the rest of them. And this is a great way for people who, if you do spend money, right? If you max refresh or something like that, this is a great way for you to be able to just cash out and get exactly what you're looking for in a matter of a day or two, and then be able to build a character. I remember when, funnily enough, when Alice came out, I wasn't prepared for her at all, and through that system, I was able to farm her up in one stream one day. Pursuit
Huh.
of Depths. Thank you.
I think do you how long does it take to build up a character from fresh? Like farming bro, my brain is so cooked right now. I've been awake for so long. How long does it take to build up a character from fresh in terms of like how many days does it take? Oh my god, I am fried. Jesus Christ, bro. You
Ooh,
know what I mean.
days? Are we talking like straight raw free to play? You're using nothing else, like
Yeah,
no
like how much
refreshes, no.
yeah.
Okay, to build them from like A to E, I think you can get it done in about a week. But
Okay.
because going from E to F and from like level 50 to level 60 is so expensive, you're basically the cost of building from those particular lines, E to F and then 50 to 60, is almost double that of what it would take you to get from level 1 to level 50 or from A
Wait,
to E.
really?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Dang. Actually, that makes sense. I've been farming for literally weeks trying to get my my Miyabi and my Billy up right now. My Billy's only like level 57 and my Miyabi's only like level 51 or something like that. And I'm literally just sitting there spamming the EXP dungeon trying to get it over and over again. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, the amount of daily getting in in ZZZ is kind of crazy to me.
Yeah. Like there's situations like if you're like me and you just don't do any of your side quests, you have a lot of resources just sitting in the back for whenever you need them. But
Right?
you're taking up time, right? You're trading time. Now, what I really did enjoy when I played Starro was Starro has these packs. And I think Wuthering has
Hmm.
them too, but I don't think they come as like there's not as many of them. You can just buy the materials to like level them up, right? I
You mean from
think
like the
games
store? Like pay to win?
yeah, the physical store. Yeah, your physical cash.
Ah,
You can buy these packs that take a character from like level 40 to 60 or from level 1 to level 50, and that's exactly how it should be. Like if I want to give you money for these resources, the option to do that should be in the game. Zenless has yet to provide us with an option like that. Like we have here's somewhere in here in the weeklies or whatever, but it's not really worth it. Like W engine or tuning supplies, get 24 modules. This might take you from level 1 to like level 20, level 30, something like that. And then
right?
you realize you're spending 300 of your polychrome. It's okay, but if they would have just been like, "Hey, you pay 680, you pay 300, and then we'll take this from like level 50 to 55 or from 50 to 60 or from E to F," that would be significantly better.
Yeah, I'm actually. You mentioned Wuwa. I'm looking at the store right now. Yeah, they have the same as ZZZ. They don't have the HSR system. That's kind of interesting. I didn't even know HSR had that. I mean, that'd be a good way for them to make money. Honestly, I wouldn't be opposed to them adding
Mhm.
that. I mean, gacha companies always want to print money. I'm wondering if them like gating materials like that is a way for them to sell like sequences and stuff like that too, right? Because if you don't have the materials to actually raise your characters from not doing open world, that means you're going to spend more money on like sequences or buying like signatures and stuff to get that extra power, right?
Yeah,
Otherwise, you're not going to be able to clear the end game content, assuming you're someone who wants to do that.
definitely agree on that.
We can move away from the gearing systems now. Let's move on to another spicy one, character kits. What are your thoughts on character kits? Which game do you think does it better?
Zenless.
All right, what do you think Zedless does it better?
I think they're more coherent. And this is damn, this is gonna be a hot take. I'm gonna get in trouble again. All right, before I get in trouble, let me go grab what's what my dog put from the door. And then I'll be right back.
Chad, what do you guys think I'm gonna say on this one? Am I Woo or ZZZ show for this? Have I given? I don't know if I've publicly ever given my thoughts on this yet. Have I? Ooh, maybe I have. I actually don't remember. I consider built as a level 60 character, core to F, three skills to 11. That's pretty reasonable as built. You will say ZZZ, and you will agree. It is a gap. After 1.4 ZZZ on release, Wuwa. You look like a ZZZ on this? Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I actually have given my thoughts on it. Ooh, I actually do remember that. Actually, I'm pretty sure we talked about it yesterday. No spoilers though. No spoilers. At least in ZZ, the agent's kits didn't get locked by pairing with another character. Is that true? Anton's kit is locked behind locking in Astra. If you don't lock in Astra, you don't get to play Anton. Wuthering Waves and ZZZ both have their pros and cons. One isn't exactly better than the other. Dude, nah, that's a bitch made take. Nah. You gotta bring the heat, bro. You gotta pick a side. You can't just not pick a side. That's what, dude. I almost didn't pick a side for the last one. Nah, I can't do that. I can't do that. Nah. You gotta pick a side, bro. Yo, Foxhole, thanks so much for the membership. I appreciate it. Thanks, man. Fence it or take? I haven't even said what I wanted yet. Oh, you talking about him? You ask EO about why you consider ZZZ a fighting game? I'll ask him that when he comes back. I haven't asked him that, though. Dude, I told you... Wait, I told you guys originally the stream was going to happen 4 hours ago, right? No, 5 hours ago now. Well, 4 hours before I started this. We spent like 3 hours talking during the stream, just talking about random shit when we're supposed to start. My bro's a yapper. Oh, let me pull up EO's chat. Hold on. I'm leaving them dirty right now. Let me pull up EO's chat. We were just talking about the most random shit. EO's chat. Who has a better character kit system? Is it Wuwa or ZZZ? System. Who has better character kits? Is it Wuwa or is it ZZZ? My chat seems pretty mixed in favor of ZZZ, I think. I haven't given my my thoughts on it yet. Are dupes included? If like a sequence changes the base of a character's kit, nah, I wouldn't include that. I would consider like bases. Like S0 for limited characters. If there's like S6s that change the way characters play, nah. I don't like the combat in ZZZ, so Wuwa. Dude, I can't even boot up EO's stream. I'm trying to right now. It literally won't let me. My Twitch is lagging. Do you have a question about how Pridwin handles each respective game? Wait, what do you mean? Not really. I mean, I've read like their methodology and stuff. Actually, I haven't read it for ZZZ specifically. I hear worse things about the ZZZ Pridwin tier list than I do Wuwa. Wuwa's is like mostly accurate, but I feel like the way they handle it is like slightly misleading. But I mean, I guess they have changed it a little bit recently. It's not like bad. Like most of the ratings would only go like one up or down. It doesn't really change too much about like who you pull for. Oh, you want me to ask EO about Pridwin? Wait, EO's chat. What should I ask EO? I only have his Twitch open. YouTube's not working. Actually, stream's not even working for me. That's because Pridwin tier list is wrong.
I have returned. What did I miss?
Guy in chat asks me to ask you about your thoughts about Pridwin tier list.
Like in general or for specific games?
For ZZZ specifically.
I don't agree with everything. I don't think it's the horrible, right? It's not the worst thing. But I don't like that when it comes to Zenless as a whole, the game is definitely let me go to the team list real quick. So the way that Zenless works is, in my opinion, one of the best. I think it has like the best team structure out of all the games. Maybe Genshin Impact has a better one because it's been 5 years. It's a lot more put together. They've had a lot more time to develop the elemental reaction system as a whole. In Zenless's case, a lot of people treat this game like it's still a regular gacha game. Like you just, oh, it's another Genshin. You put the fire with the fire and the electric with the electric, but that's just
Right.
not how that works at all. And with these core passives and the additional abilities and like even the kits themselves and like what they allow you to do, I think that a tier list requires you to do a lot more, I guess maybe like research or testing instead of just looking at just the numbers, right? So
Right.
the reason that I don't agree with Pride Win's tier list isn't so much because like it's wrong placements. It's more so that I don't agree with why they did what they did. Like if they place someone in like tier zero, why is it in tier zero? Why is she in tier zero? Why is he in tier zero? And I don't agree with their placement because their reasoning behind it is flawed. Or if they're talking about this from, they love to use like the free to play metrics, right? Or the casual player metrics. So Zenless is a game where execution skill is a factor. You have to take that into consideration. And some
Mm-hmm.
characters with a high amount of skill or like just being really good at the game, they outperform versus if you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Haramasa is like the perfect example for that, where it's like if you don't know what you're doing, your damage output is just dog shit. It's horrible. But if you do know what you're doing, he is at the time one of the best DPS in the game. He's still up there, right? If you want to like outside of top five, you could probably argue Haramasa is up there as far as like the damage output that he's able to get if
Wait, is
you
he better
understand
than
the
Ambi?
teams. Yeah, or on par with her, one of the two.
Oh yeah, thanks for
Because like
the
the
Haramasa
teams that
guide,
you're
by the way. I used that when I was learning Haramasa the other day.
no problem. It's outdated now. They've come up with so much new tech, dude. It's ridiculous.
That means you
But
scammed me. What the
he
fuck?
no. Haramasa, when I put that guy out, he came out like what is that? Almost a year ago. That was a long time ago for Haramasa. But he's good. He's good. It's one of those things where like, understanding when you can do your dashes, how to get the orbs on the field, right? The electro orbs, and how to take advantage of them. Because like during my guide, I didn't understand how quivers worked to the degree that I understand it now, where like
Mm-hmm.
he has an override system. And excuse me, this is something that Pridewind at the time of me disagreeing with their tier list, Pridewind didn't even have this information available to him as far as like how the override system works. Because the reason my video blew up for Haramasa the way it did was because not only Pridewind, but at that time, other theory crafters as well were all saying Haramasa is just not good. Like he's just not a great character. The reason wasn't because of his damage output. It was because they did not take the time to understand how to play the character. They didn't want to put the work in. So then I made my guide. R2 came out, was like Haramasa main and a couple other Haramasa mains as well. Yoji, like they literally just came out and just pretty much showed them instead of telling them. What that ended
Mm.
up turning into, uh, quivers. You can use certain moves to basically auto stock his dashes. So instead of having to do the hold attack, right, with the bow and arrow,
Right?
instead of having to do that, you could do other moves like EXs or triggering a stun or an anomaly with shock, things like that. It would auto stock his quivers so that now you just get free 1, 2, 3, your dashes, and you still have all your other methods in the background, and you still have 6 quivers on the field. So now you can just like infinitely reset if you understand how to play this character, right? So the skill level and execution required to bring out his full potential was, in my opinion, I think he still has the highest execution floor in the game. Like, you need to understand how to play that character to bring out the damage. You can't tier something like that, right? Especially if you're looking at it from a casual perspective. So what Pridewind does is they take things from an average or casual perspective, no signature W engine in mind, and they only look at things that
Mm-hmm.
they think are feasible to what the average player will want to do. But when it
Right?
comes to a tier list, if we're tiering characters, you're tiering them at their absolute highest value. And if you
Right.
refuse to put in the work or put in the research, put in the time, whatever, like you just don't acknowledge what this character is capable of in the right hands at its highest value, you're doing a disservice to your own like platform and to yourself, and you're being dishonest about the character. That's why I disagree a lot of the time with Pride. It's not about like the actual placement. It's their criteria is it's inconsistent.
So would you say
And
that you
then
take issue with them like catering towards like more casual players, or do you not find an issue with that?
no, I'm not gonna find an issue with it. I think for Zenless personally, I think if you split it, right? But then even when you split it, sometimes the tier list just looks almost identical anyway. There might be a difference here or there, but
Mm-hmm.
Zenless is a game. I was literally just talking about this the other day on stream, which is funny. Zenless is a game that we should be promoting learning the game. Where instead of like trying to diminish how much information you need to learn or absorb or get good at the game, whatever, instead of diminishing it to where it's pretty much like non-existent or like it doesn't matter, we should be encouraging players to learn it. So when it comes to a tier list, if we're talking about like the casual, the pro player, the intermediate, whatever, yes, tier lists can cater or be, catered towards a casual player, but they should be crafted in a way where a casual player looks at this and they use this as a stepping stone to learn the higher required, a higher level things. And then this kind of ties in, like, I think Zelski is who asked it from your chat. Zelski, you asked about um you asked me why I always relate Zenless to a fighting game. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. It's because Zenless is it's not a fighting game, but it has so many references from fighting games. Kamino, the literal character that people are going crazy for not being an S rank right now, he is almost a one-to-one of another character from a series called Guilty Gear. He has the animations of a character called Order Soul, right? Same design almost. A lot of similarities exist between fighting games and Zenless. If we want to take it all the way back to circa 2024, when Zenless is getting ready to release, they also released a dev blog, which was it's called, if you type it in YouTube, you type in ZZZ SF6 Street Fighter 6 round table, and it's a developer interview, or just like they're having a discussion really between the Street Fighter 6 developers and the Zenless Zone Zero developers. That entire interview is them saying where they got their inspiration from the game from. Originally, when I showed this to as many people as I could when it first came out, a lot of people in the community, because and that's when I learned, like, it's not everyone, but uh the gacha space that I dealt with or that I interacted with, a lot of them at the time were very against anything that's not what they want. So if it's not a gacha, if it's not familiar to them, if it's not the norm, then they reject it. It's not good. It shouldn't be a thing. And Zenless was not the norm. That's why Zenless caught the flack that it did. That's why it was treated the way it was when it first came out, because it clearly was not just a regular gacha game. Like, they had their inspirations. They openly said what they were, and a large chunk of the Hoyo community, quote unquote, ignored that. And then they didn't like the game they received. So instead of playing the game that they gave you, you were asking for a game that it wasn't meant to be. But the game, there's fighting game references all over this game, dude. Yuzuha and her Tanuki cloak parry, that's a fighting game reference in a way. Alice has fighting game references. Yanagi literally has a parry system and a meter system. Ishwin is literally a fighting game character. Like, I don't know how else to say that, to be completely honest. Nicole has 360 inputs, which are like, Zangief or whatever the case may be. Um, Jane has them, Sanby has them, Trigger has them. Lighter is literally based off K-Dash from King of Fighters. Like, it just, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why we would diminish what a reference is from,
Why do you think so many people disagree with you with the fighting game take?
because they don't want to accept that's what it is.
They don't want to accept that it's a fighting game, or do you think that they?
No, not that it's a fighting game. The references.
Oh, the
Yeah,
references.
it's kind of like if
Okay.
I were to let's say that you were Mexican, and then you
Okay.
were like bomb ass making Mexican food, right? You're familiar with it, you understand it, you grew up with it, and then
I
I
love
came into
tacos.
your household, right? Yeah, you love tacos, right? I came into your house and I said, "Yo, bro, I know this taco is inspired by your hometown, but I don't really think that that should matter. I mean, we're in America right now, so like this should just be an American tortilla. Like, I think you should just change it. It's just an American tortilla. It's not a taco at all. Nothing of where this came from, no relevance to it at all, no references. None of that matters. That's how they treat this. It's ridiculous. I
Huh.
just, why are we ignoring it? Like, it's just, this character has a 360 input. That is a fighting game input from my references, my knowledge. What do you want me to say? Oh, it's just a circle input, bro. Where did it come from? Where's the origination? Where did it originate? There's nothing wrong with speaking on the origin of something. Yeah, and Yule is right. Not everyone plays fighting games. I don't expect everybody to play fighting games. So I also don't expect everybody to know where these origins come from. You know, hypercarry. Hypercarry is not an origin or a term originated from gacha games. Hypercarry is from card games, but no one's talking about that, right? Like, oh man, the hypercarry in the card games, like da 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 whatever, because it doesn't matter. No one makes a big deal about it.
That's kind of interesting. I never thought about that. So you're saying that you refer to the fighting game, or you refer to fighting games specifically just because there's so many aspects of ZZZ that lend from fighting games. But then
Absolutely.
Why did so many people take away from what you say there in regards to like the game being like, or like having fighting game inspiration, to you saying that the game is a fighting game? Why is there a disconnect there?
Because they're not listening to the words I'm saying. They're listening, or rather they're inputting what they want to hear. At no point in time have I ever said Zenless is a fighting game. I've always said it's inspired by, it's like, it has these things from fighting games, it's referenced to, but I've never just straight up called Zenless a fighting game. At least that I'm aware of. If somebody has a clip of that, then that's different. And then I'll just have to like, okay, yeah, I did say it at this point, but I don't recall ever saying that Zenless is a fighting game. I've also said Zenless has Monster Hunter and Devil May Cry references. No one has been bitching about that. Like I'm not gonna say the leaks or not. There's a character that we just saw, and she quite literally has verbatim, the same exact animation and everything. Monster Hunter has a hammer in the game. It has a specific hammer charge. You put the hammer behind you with the down thing, and then you charge it, and it goes cling, 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 and you run around with it, and then you let it go on a certain charge. You do an enhanced swing. This character has the exact same animation as the hammer charge. Seth has the charge blade. He has the same animations from Monster Hunter in his kit with his charge blade. I'm thinking of another character that also has it in here. I'm trying to remember which other character. Oh, Caesar, the sword and shield. She has the same animations from Monster Hunter built into her kit. Like the people don't actually have an issue with me saying it's a fighting game or like it has the fighting game references. It's that they just don't want to accept that's what it is. Because if I say the same thing for Monster Hunter and then I give you a 1-to-1 comparison on the hammer charge in Monster Hunter and the hammer charge in Zenless Zone Zero, what are we going to say? Oh, everyone has that. No one else has the hammer charge except Monster Hunter. That's the only place it came from. All of this ties back to, I made an original claim back then with the Zenless the dev table or the round table. And I said this goes beyond just Street Fighter 6. Because the way Capcom works, which we're seeing that in Zenless every single time they release a new character, the way Capcom works is that they share assets. It can be with themselves, it can be through their own house, and it can be with other people. The Zenless team, they're best friends with the Capcom or Street Fighter 6 developer team. This means that they have access to all of these other assets, not just from the fighting game inspiration. They have it from everything. It's there.
It's called inspiration. People just need to accept that. What did this combo turn into? I
Zenless
don't know.
taking inspiration from fighting games different to games like Genshin Impact taking inspiration from Genshin. What?
I'm assuming it means Breath of the Wild. Genshin taking inspiration from Breath of the Wild. I don't think it is different. I don't think that's what you're saying. It's kind of interesting to hear like the disconnect between what you're saying and like.
You see what I'm saying? Like I'm explaining something and then they're it's literally the, yo, I love waffles. Oh, so you hate pancakes? That's what this situation is. I'm telling you why a thing happened, right? I'm explaining something, and then you're receiving this information, and then coming up with your own twisted narrative behind it. At what point did I bring up Genshin or how it's different at all? And then now what's funny is this is my arguments. Every time I argue with somebody or you hear somebody say like EO said this thing, so he's whatever the fuck, and we go into like argument mode, it's because of this.
You get rage baited, bro. I get rage baited too. I get rage baited so hard. I notice that. It's like one of my biggest faults. I'll get rage baited by Chad. They'll say like some stupid shit, or I'll like explain something right beforehand, and then they'll say like the complete opposite of it without like providing any proof. Like I'll give you an example. I said, or actually, you know what? We mentioned Sanhua off stream, right? So I said Sanhua is a character who is very versatile, but does not have the performance of actual S tier characters, think of Sanhua like a Nicole, where she can fit in a shit ton of teams. Very good character. You would tell everybody to build that character. She's a 4-star character, bro. She is cracked as fuck, but she's not Astra, right? She's not Astra. She's not Yuzuha. She's not Vivian, right?
Right.
Nicole's not that character. Sanhua is the same exact thing. She is Nicole, but people will say Sanhua is an S tier character, and they'll say bullshit that doesn't matter. Like they'll say, "Oh, but Sanhua has a fast rotation, bro. She has a 2-second rotation." Okay, that's really cool. So how come with her 2-second rotation, none of the team comps that actually use her can perform to any other team comp in the game? And then they'll just parrot that same exact thing. Well, they'll just say, "Well, Sanhua has a fast rotation." Well, she has a fast rotation. They'll just keep saying that over and over again. I just want to fucking. I actually lose my mind. Like I don't know what to say. These people don't know what they're talking about. It's I get rage baited too hard.
You know what it is? I think the rage bait, like for me, and maybe you could agree with this, I just don't like stupid people. And that's not me calling everyone dumb. I don't like I don't like when someone purposely misconstrues something in order to fit their agenda or like continue an argument, right? Because I've always grown up, I've been raised that way, you go through school that way. If you don't understand something, ask the question, right? Hey, I don't understand what you said about Sanwa. I don't understand why she's got a fast rotation and why that makes no sense or like why that's good or bad. Could you please explain it? There's never anything wrong with that. But so many people are so prideful and like not admitting they don't know anything in order to talk about whatever it is to continue the conversation. But so many people have this like, I know it all. I whatever you're talking about, I know exactly what it is in order to blank, blank, and blank. I'm like, this is intellectual dishonesty. Thank you, Ferris. It's ridiculous how many people do this stuff on the internet, especially in the gacha space, and then they expect you to roll with it. Then when you don't, and you're like, yo, bro, you're being a little dense right now. Maybe if you did this, like we could talk about it and like it'd be better. Nah, that's not me, bro. You're getting one guy right now. You just shouldn't be getting one guy. Why are you getting one? Come on, dude. Like we can be more mature than that.
Bro, if you want to go full ego maxing, like it's so funny. You know what'll happen? You go to like a challenger player's chat in like Twitch chat or whatever, right? And you'll see like backseat Billy, who's like bronze 4 or some shit, trying to tell challenger I don't know, challenger chat over here what to do, or giving like takes about the game. And they're giving takes from like a bronze 4 perspective. They're just saying things that don't mean anything. And you're sitting over here as like challenger Chad, and you're like, bro, what are you saying? And what are you? I don't understand. Like, are you as the streamer like supposed to just sit there and just constantly talk about your entire thought process for every single part of everything that anyone will ever say wrong? Or is there like a certain point where you just like say, bro, shut the fuck up?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
It was smarter than you go better.
Yo, what up, Rezzy? How you doing?
I feel it especially in the gacha community too, because there's so many. All right, dude, this is gonna sound so elitist. There's so many casual players in the gacha community that legitimately don't understand like anything about the game. They don't know like calcs for characters. They don't know like how characters fit in comps. They don't know what makes a character good. They don't even know like proper rotations or any of that. But then they'll give their opinions on like a character, right? Or like one of the biggest things I'll have issues of is like when I'm talking about like clears that specific characters can do. And I'm not sure if you've ever experienced this. Like I'll talk about like how like Wuwa has like the HP inflation is like kind of messed up, and then I'll show like a clear for like whatever I'm doing, and I'll talk about why it's bad. And people will bring up their experience in the game mode when they have like sequences and shit like that. I'm just like, bro, do you think people care about whether or not you have sequences? Most players aren't going to have sequences, bro. Probably 99% of players don't have sequences on their account, even if they're spenders. Like, pretending like sequences matter or like affect anything in terms of balance is fucking crazy to me. But then they'll just like say these things, and like, dude, I don't know. I consider it a personal fault that I'll like tank mental. What's the word I'm looking for? Mental fortitude. I don't know. Yeah, I'll like tank mental damage whenever they say this shit. I actually get so angry.
Dude, it's bad. It's bad, man. You also said like you don't know if I experienced that. The answer is Seth. There, at one point, that's why I'm like the Seth general, the Seth propaganda, whatever, like the sole Seth defender. And Seth isn't even my favorite character. I learned Seth because Nyx taught me Seth, right? Nyx was like, yo, Seth is like, you talk about wanting to learn stuff and lock the boss down. Your answer is Seth. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And then he showed me. I was like, oh shit, you're right. That is what I've been looking for the whole time. So then I showed other people. And then the immediate argument that I got was like, oh, well, Seth doesn't do like support like Astra, or why would I use Seth when I could just use Lucy? And it's like, okay, why are you even bringing this conversation? Like, what is the point? Oh, well, because Lucy just buffs the team anyway. I'm not using Seth for buffs. I'm using him to lock the enemy down. Like, what? Does Lucy lock him down? Well, no, but why would I waste my time doing that? What the fuck are we having the argument for this? Like, I want to play this thing and I want to do this thing with that. So I use this character. You want to buff the crap out of one character, so you use the other character. Why are we having an argument? Well, I just don't think that you should waste your time using Seth. Okay, I'll come to you whenever I want to do that clear. Thank you.
Have you ever considered that these people just want to rage bait you because it's funny?
I that might be what it is, but like I fucking hate it. I hate it, bro.
Dude, I've been thinking of like comments people will make through the lens of rage bait, and it makes more sense. It's so hard for me to tell just because of the internet whether or not it's like rage bait or people being serious. But if I frame it from like the POV of like something is rage bait, it helps me tank it better. Because it's either it's rage bait or it's someone who doesn't know any better that's trying to assert their opinion as fact over me who actually goes and tests this shit. I spend so much. I feel like I spend. No, I do. I don't know. I am qualifying it as like I feel. I spend so much time into making sure any opinion I give is tested, or I go like look up calculations, or I look like legitimately into every single thing that I'll ever say. More so than anybody who plays this game. And then I'll have people like argue with me, like if I say like Sonhwa or talk about like tier list or whatever the fuck. Like it's I don't know. I get rage baited too easily. I'd imagine you're the same based on what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Like I'm reading my chat right now, and like people are like talking about like the fighting game stuff or whatever. And I feel like you're definitely getting rage baited a little bit. I feel like you gotta like take it a little bit what's the word I'm looking for? Less personally, or take it a little bit more humorous.
Yeah. It's so much like because I'm a very like genuine. I'm never above having a conversation with somebody that wants to be enlightened or get educated, right? So like, because that's how I am. Like I get real upset if I'm like, oh, I really am interested in this particular topic. Let's talk about it. And I start asking this person questions and they feel like they're so above me that they just don't have the time to converse. That would be belittling in a way. So I always try to make it where it's like, if somebody is legitimately trying to figure out an answer or ask me this thing, like why I said what I said or why I think the way that I do, I try and at least take the time to give them a genuine answer. But then I realize they're not genuinely asking this question. But by the point I realize that, I've already been rage baited. So.
Well, it's kind of nice if you actually like legitimately go through that process of explaining it and you're not doing it in a condescending way. I think people appreciate that. Even if you're getting like rage baited or someone's engaging like bad faith or something, I think people appreciate the fact that you're like willing to engage and explain that. I think that's one of the faults I have where like, even if like I don't grant like that much charity. If I just assume someone's rage baiting, I'll just like assign them as a rage baiter and I'll just like go off on them. It's the League of Legends player of me, bro. I think explaining it like that is actually like a good thing though. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
So I would have to like watch your streams in order to see why. But I feel like I see like a lot of comments I see like revolving like you specifically. I'll hear like you have like weird takes and stuff like that, but like from however long, I mean, we've talked for like literally 5 hours today or some shit, right? Total so far. And like, I don't think I've heard you say anything that was like even remotely outlandish. I agree with like, actually, I don't know if there's anything I've disagreed with yet. I've agreed with like pretty much everything you said, actually. So it's kind of wild to me to hear like the disconnect between like the words actually coming out of your mouth and then like the stuff that I'll see like people talk about you. It's really weird.
Yeah, I can't speak on like why they decide to do that, to be honest, but like it's one of those things that I've learned is because I've told you before when we were talking earlier, I was like, I have imposter syndrome, like bad, but it's not so much that what I say is a riddle or like confusing or convoluted. I just speak as best I can, proper grammar. And so a lot of the times when I am speaking on something, I might use a word or two that somebody doesn't understand. I don't know. Nobody likes admitting they don't know a word though, and they don't want to Google it like in a quick amount of speed. I don't fucking know. Point being is that I say things, I expect people to respond or understand it, and if they don't, I expect them to ask questions. That's not what happens. And a lot of the times, what ends up turning or what that turns into is it usually turns in like they think I'm saying some crazy shit or have a bad take or a hot take, and it turns into an argument. And that shouldn't be a thing.
That's content, bro. That's content right there. You gotta farm that shit, bro. Become the content creator of all time.
No way.
That's a
man,
perfect
dude.
stream clip. Farm that
The
shit.
farming is just it works, but like you know, it puts you in such a negative headspace.
Hey, you don't gotta farm it
It's
negatively. You can farm it positively. Use it as like a chance to inform
how
your
do you farm
audience.
that? You know what? You're right. You're right. You're right.
You
You're
can just
right.
use it as a chance to yap or like a discussion board, bro. It's something for you to like spring off a discussion for and like talk to your chat, right? Someone rage
Yeah.
baits you can like you can say like, oh, Sonhwa is S tier or whatever, right? And I'm like, no, it's not S tier, and then I'll explain all these things, and then I'll ask like, are there other characters that you guys feel that aren't like overrated? That's a bad example, but like whatever.
No,
You get the
I'm
point.
following you. I get you.
I got so off topic off of your fighting game rant. I respect it though. That was a fun rant. I like that. I'm going back to character kits though, because we got so.
Yeah.
Actually, hold on. Let me ask
Goodness.
you. So, how do you want to handle the character kits? So we can either talk about like the kits on them by themselves individually, or we can talk about like the actual like combat system within the game and how the kits fall into that. Which one would you prefer to talk about?
That was actually going to be like my answer was both. So then when I walked away early and I said like, oh, it's gonna be a hot take. Let me go do this thing first. It's because I like Wuthering's combat in terms of like the characters,
Mm-hmm.
their animations, and like how they fight.
Right.
I think Wuthering has one of the weakest. When I say combat system, I'm talking about the solidity of the entire thing, like how everything comes together from the character, from the team, from the mechanics, the interaction with the enemies, so on and so forth. And somebody on Twitter actually recently answered what I'd been trying to figure out, like how to word. I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
word it because I didn't understand how to word it. They answered it for me, ironically. But I think Zenless has the better combat or the better gear system, the better character kits because they're more put together, they're more built together, and they're more built around the system itself and the mechanics of Zenless. Because you're supposed to engage with the enemy, right?
Right.
Anomaly is an engagement with the enemy, and your ability to essentially abuse it is how you make or break a certain fight when it comes to Zenless. Or at the same time with stun, some of these stunners are very basic, like Ambi. But then Ambi
Mm-hmm.
also has things in her kit that a lot of people think don't matter, like juggling, but that could be used to your advantage, especially when it comes to like stunning something really fast or grouping up a bunch of characters like little mobs together. And as we saw with Shiyu defense, mob clearing is one of the that's a skill. A lot of people struggle with mob clearing. Most of their time in Shiyu, they don't waste 3 minutes, 2 minutes, or whatever on the boss. They're
Mm-hmm.
wasting a whole minute and a half, 2 minutes on the first little mob. And if they just understood how to clear it better, they wouldn't have that, oh man, it takes me 3 minutes to clear this side or blah, 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 whatever. So it kind of goes from there. But then you get into I guess like the comparison from that to Wuthering. For me, Wuthering just doesn't feel like everything is and that's where the whole glue thing comes from. It doesn't feel like it's glued together, is what I said back then.
Mm.
Because the system works and it doesn't work at the same time. It works for some teams, it works for certain characters, but universally the system doesn't work for itself. So when you're using I'm trying to remember which ones are specifically which, the Forte system. When you're using the
Mm-hmm.
Forte system, that is a personal mechanic. The Forte
Right.
system doesn't have any like actual mechanic or element attached to it that interacts with your character or your team as well as the enemy or the environment around you. It's just a straight up personal mechanic, which we could relate to, like Zenless has a passive. We could relate this to other gotcha games where they have a passive or character passive, and that just might be the Forte. But then
Mm-hmm.
characters actually have a passive in Wuthering Waves. Like they have passive abilities as well. So I can't just only call it a passive. And then you also have the intro and outro skills, and those play a big factor in like how you're building your team. Who's doing what intro skill and who's doing what outro skill does matter. Then who you're swinging them into probably matters depending on if it's team wide buffs, excuse me, or if it's a single character buff. But both of those things still don't have any direct interaction or relevance to the enemy and the mechanics that the enemy might provide. And then the game
Mm-hmm.
itself, the parry that this is by far the worst parry like ever. I'm not a fan of the press the attack and then I get a parry. I would rather a dedicated parry button, to be
Mm-hmm.
completely honest, or maybe like a parry action, if you will, where it's specifically the act of parrying, because then it would be more universal. And if they wanted to make it a little bit more strict because it's a gotcha game, just fuck it, make it so that gun characters can't parry, and then someone like Carlotta make it so that she has like I don't know blades in her heels, and she's the only one that can parry. I don't know. It's not a parry, it's a counterattack. Well, the game calls it a parry, right? Or did they change that as just called a counterattack now? It's not called a parry.
I have no clue, but it's essentially the same functionality. What's the difference in?
Yeah,
it doesn't
same-
really
same
matter
functionality.
what it's actually labeled as. It functions as a parry.
hmm Yeah, and I don't mind like fair. I don't mind having to learn characters' different parry timings, right? That's not really where I'm getting at. It's more along the lines of like it's not universal. So in we'll use Dark Souls. Everyone knows Dark Souls. Dark Souls, right? If I were to take my shield and parry, some shields parry slower than the others, but for the most part, I'm still pressing that one button. If
Hmm.
I was going to use Bloodborne, it's universally I got a gun, right? The blunderbuss, I shoot you, and then whatever timing it comes from the enemy, my interaction with the enemy and the gun, right? The enemy, what move he's doing, that dictates whether or not I can parry this, if I have the correct timing, if it's too fast or too slow. And this goes into what I was explaining about like enemy interactions and like the game or the characters of Wuthering, its mechanics don't interact with the enemy at all. I don't have to worry about whether or not the boss is doing something fast or slow. I just need to look out for when I can hit the yellow circle. Boom. And then I click my attack move. And it doesn't really matter what attack move I click as long as it's a physical interaction that's gonna give me that clean, then I get it. Some of the characters like Jinxie or Gian, everything in their kit is basically like auto parry, right? I just do whatever the fuck I want. And I say that because like my main DPS is fucking Gian and Jinxie. So like I just know that's it. I've never had to worry about a parry at all when using these particular characters. And so yeah, it does depend a lot on the character. But again, not universal. So when I'm talking about like which game would have the better kits, and if we're including the game's mechanics to help solidify that argument, it would have to be Zenless because it's so much easier for me to explain something from a ground level of like what you need to understand at that base form, and then we can get into the character specifics. But for Wuthering, it's the reverse.
Hmm.
It's character specifics, and then I teach you the team. I teach you how this team and all three of these characters operate together. And someone might say, like, okay, well, yeah, you have your intros and outros, and this character wants this, but everyone's intro and outro isn't the same. I know that we don't like comparing Genshin Impact to Wuthering Waves because excuse me, that's like a sin. But I always say the same thing. The reason Genshin is so essentially loved by that audience is because, and it's understood, right? Even Pokimane understands how to play Genshin Impact before she understands how to play Wuthering Waves and probably Zenless Zone Zero as well. But that's a reason for that. Genshin is so easy to understand, so simple to understand that the elements reaction system, no matter what characters you're using, it's always the baseline. How does the elements reaction system work with these particular characters? What am I aiming to do? And it's that simple. It's just straightforward. You get it, you got it, you're good.
I do think ooh, dude, you know what sucks? I don't want to just
Just
agree
chest
on
not showing up.
everything. That's so boring. I don't want to just agree on everything, but pretty much dude, is this a fun conversation if I just agree on everything?
I mean, it's up to you. But like if you disagree, right? Like I feel like you and I are both mature enough to be like, okay, yeah, why?
No. The problem is, so I literally said this on stream yesterday when we were talking about this. I was saying, if I were to talk about the character kits as they are individually, I much prefer the Wuthering Waves kits. And I think it's by a decent margin too, actually. I think the Wuthering Waves kits, like individually, if I just look at the characters, they just feel more fun to play. But when I start including boss fights and the actual mechanics of the game, I think Zenless starts blowing Wuwa out of the water, actually. And it's one of the reasons why I've been more attracted to playing Zenless in recent times. I feel like one of the biggest problems with Wuthering Waves, and I noticed this, Rivenus first pointed it out to me, but then Jason kind of solidified it, and he kind of parroted or I guess you parroted what he said there, I guess, because I talked to him first. But it's like, in Wuthering Waves, your goal is not to interact with the boss pretty much at all. Like, regardless of what other boss I'm fighting against, I want to do the same exact thing with my team always. We talked, was it on stream or off stream where I brought up Mono Ice specifically on Pompeii? I don't remember. But either way,
Recently, yeah, you
Yeah.
just recently brought that up. Yep.
so when I'm playing Mono Ice, aka or Miyabi against Pompeii, I can't actually freeze Pompeii. So I had to change the way that I was playing Mono Ice in order to defeat Pompeii and get the clear on that. I had to change my Lycon to have impact. I had to play for triple stun window, and I had to save all my burst for that window, make sure I got the 2 EBAs, which is much different to how I played against like a Butcher, for example, where you can do like all the mono free shenanigans and freeze the boss for 20 seconds for some ungodly reason. Because I guess that's ethical. I don't know how the fuck that's in the game, but it's funny and it's fun to do. But it's actually kind of fucked up. In Wuwa, no matter what boss I'm fighting, as long as I dodge whatever mechanic he has, I'm implementing my comp in the same exact manner always. So the only I guess in that regard, the actual depth from Wuwa comes from just like learning the character kits themselves. I kind of find that as an issue. My ideal game, and what I've been saying for a while, is I would take the kits from Wuthering Waves and just find a way to implement them inside of Zenless Zone Zero, and that would be perfect for me. Because while I do like the kits in ZZZ, I do feel like, let's say like a kit like Soldier 11s or whatever, or maybe that's a bad example. Even like a fun kit, like say like Evelyn's or
Did you cut out or
Miyabi's.
did I cut out?
Oh, can you hear me? Hello?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. Even like a fun characters kit, say like Miyabi or Evelyn or something like that. I feel like I would much rather play like a quick swap team comp like Brant's Chun-Li Lupa or like Zani Phoebe Rover, and I would have a much more fun time for that actual team comp and the gameplay side of that team comp itself. But just playing that team comp when I'm playing Wuthering Waves, every single thing, whether it's holograms, whether it's tower, I'm playing pretty much identically. I had to like dodge like whatever specific attack patterns that boss is gonna have, but my gameplay doesn't get interrupted whatsoever. In ZZZ, your anomaly changes based on if you're an anomaly character. Like if I'm playing Miyabi, as mentioned before, for Pompey, he's not ice weak, and then I think he also has like some extra resistances for anomaly, so anomaly's like pretty bad against him, so that's an issue. Wuwa doesn't have anything like that outside of like maybe like bosses being hyper mobile, so like certain character kits just straight up don't even work in the game. Like Wuwa doesn't really have like specific interactions for bosses as far as I can think of off the top of my head. Like,
like there are some because I remember being told that a long time ago with the Sentry. Sentry has one. If I'm in chat, might be able to help me out with this.
Spectral Frazzle makes it so the vibration strength lowers faster. Yeah, stuff like that.
Well, no, I didn't even mean that, but that's a new one too. I was gonna talk about if you what was it? You have to use your intro or forte on him at a certain point or during a certain mode, something like that, in order to prevent him from going into his enhanced mode or to knock it out. Something. I'm not entirely too sure what exactly it was, but I do remember being told something specifically about Sentry and one of the game's mechanics interacting with him. Also with Inferno Rider, but I have not been told that about anything else. I think the major difference between like whether or not that information is there. Oh, it's today is not a stream. You're able to get to my Shiyu run. No. Alexandra, I might be able to. It just depends. Um, but yeah, it just depends. But one of the things that I haven't seen, but like the differences between like Zenless and Weathering is that like a lot of a lot of the information is stuff that I'm putting out, is stuff that Soul's putting out, it's stuff that R2's putting out, right? Like that boss interaction, the information there. I don't see that for Weathering, so I can't even comment on it much more than I have already to understand like who or which boss is even capable of doing that. And I'm worried that you guys don't even have someone or a team or a group of people really looking for that, right? Like
You mean like
it's the
specific
fact.
mechanics that'll like stop bosses from doing whatever? You mean like pairing
Yeah,
Sentry so he's
just
not flying, stuff like that?
yeah, like anything like that, right? Like just having those little innuendos with the bosses, because to me, that's what makes great boss design, right? Like that interaction or the positive, negative behavior between player and the boss. Those little things are what make the fight so much better, you know?
Right?
Knowing that there's something you can or can't do in a certain situation, and it's high risk, right? Like I love Monster Hunter, guys. I'm a huge Monster Hunter fan. So a lot of my, I guess, like flavor text for playing games, it comes from Monster Hunter. And you know, in the case of like something with like a Diablos, Diablos has a horn, you know, it rams you. Okay, so with Diablos, the high risk is me standing in front of this giant monster, getting ready to impale my guts with its horns. The high reward is if I just happen to get out of the way when he's ramming at me and I get him stuck on a wall or a rock or something that's hard and stationary, his horns get stuck for like the next 5 to 7 seconds. and I just get free damage. And if I'm good enough, I can just break his horns so he can't impel me anymore. That's my high reward, high risk, and I just make more of that, you know. And that's why I say like Zenless has that. Pompey, we only recently discovered a more accurate way to do it, but it's still RNG on whether or not he's going to do it. I've watched JP do it, and then I went and like studied it, and I've helped discover some things as well with Pompey, where like you can just straight up bully the shit out of him with specific ultimates, interrupts, and burn specifically, and he just won't do his motorcycle. So if you're good at what you're doing, you don't have to worry about the invincibility mode at all. Same thing with Palicus, the twins. If you lock them down, you don't have to deal with their invincibility mode. Jane with Tanuki Cloak for what's baby girl's name? Yuzuha. Or with Seth, his EX charge or his EX skill, it locks enemies down. There are certain things where it's like, hey, this is really risky because if I fuck it up, I'm taking a lot of damage. But if I get it right, I stop the enemy from doing something that I have to deal with that I don't want to deal with. Like I pretty much prevent their strongest move from even coming out.
I think one of the biggest. Have you played Kelpie yet? The hologram. Kelpie has like he's like 3 bosses in one essentially, and you can damage all 3 of them. He has like certain points during the hologram where if you like dump the AoE attacks, you'll just like nuke. Well, literally doing 3 times the damage you would normally. So if you have AoE attacks, you save it for those specific points when he's vulnerable, and all 3 are right next to each other, and you can blow him the fuck up and bypass the fight like that. Are you talking about mechanics like that? Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, outside of Kelpie, there's not too many. There's Sentry Construct getting parried from flying, and I think there's, like, 1 or 2 on Fallacy as well, but Florida's has, like, one where you, like, parry, and then she gets angry and then attacks you really fast, but that doesn't really, like, change the flow of the fight or anything. Yeah, there's actually not too many like that when I'm looking at this off the top of my head. Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, see? You see? Like people think that I just like, and I don't shit on weathering, by the way, right? Like that's not something I do. But whenever I have these conversations, I talk about it. People think that I don't like take the time to really look into the game or like just kind of figure some things out or learn it. I love learning. So I love learning things about weathering. So if it exists, I want to know about it. When I go look for it and the answer just isn't there, if I can't find it and no one else has found it, what else am I to believe except it doesn't exist?
I will say it's kind of interesting. I feel like there's not too many people looking into like specific mechanics like that. I think I don't know if this is a hot take. I think it's because we don't have a game mode like DA. And I feel like speedrunning is so disconnected from the community and what they want to do. I think if we had like DA in the game, wait. No, we'll bring that up. We'll bring that up in a little bit. All right, no, we got some spoilers going on there. All right, never mind.
I hate that I started playing the Zenless mode a day before it goes away. Chat, why did y'all not tell me there was a side mode, a beat 'em up side scrolling mode for the new event? Or it's old now, but like I would have been on this every day. Anyway, I apologize. Please continue.
I was gonna say we can move on to character design, something a little bit spicy. What is actually everything's been spicy so far. What is your favorite what's your favorite characters? Which game do you think does it better?
Ooh, tough. Okay. Favorite characters, and who I think does it better.
Yeah,
that's actually a really
let's do 2 favorite characters from each game, and then we'll say what character or what has the better overall designs.
Fuck. Okay. 2 favorite characters. I'm gonna start with Zenless because I know it. Do you in? That's baby girl. She got canonically the fattest ass in the game. Okay, so I'm always gonna say that. Bro. That's my girl. Second favorite out of I don't think I've ever thought about my second favorite in Zenless. Nah, it wouldn't be Nagi. It used to be Jane. I would have said Jane at one point because I really do love Jane, but I don't think it'd be Jane either. It might be Ellen, guys. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I just think Ellen's a really cool character. It might be Ellen.
All right,
it might be Ellen or Astra. I really do like Astra's personality, like her character. But in Wuthering, it's super easy Um, but it's also not super easy. So I'm gonna give you three, okay? Because like we'll use one for two. So my
Okay.
number one favorite character in the game for Wuthering is Cancerella. I
I see
already
you,
loved her
bro.
design. Yeah, I fucking love her design. The siren shit she's got going on, fucking fire. But then I played the story, and I'm all the way up to Cartithia, and I said, yeah, no, she's like the failed, not failed Sailor Moon. I'm like, yeah, no, this is it. I need her, so she's number one for me for sure. And then the second favorite, or rather, like the two, it's a tie between Zani and Cartithia. Cartithia's story, I'm a huge fan of. I love it, and she's a character that I did
Ooh.
not expect that I was gonna like at all. But I really did enjoy the the differences between her and Cancerella, but like they're the same, right? Two sides of the same coin. I love that aesthetic. I love that between the two of them. And then we have Zani, and Zani's just fucking badass, bro. Like I like badass women. I don't know how else to say it. Like Zani is fucking clean, you know? She got the suit on, but the not suit. She got the banger body, the big booba, like, and then she also has, right? We're talking about Monster Hunter. She has a charge blade animation too. She plays with a charge blade, or yeah, I'm right, a charge blade, mostly shield version, but still, she plays with a charge blade. So I'm like, dude, there's just no way I can't say this character is one of my favorites. I, here we are. But as far as like best between Wuthering and Zenla's design wise, it's so hard. I would have to say, okay, design wise, I'm gonna give it to Zenless. I am gonna give it. I think Zenless's design for most of them are really, really solid, really clean, really good. I can tell what they are. But I think the impact of their story, like just going straight through the story, not doing any of the like event stuff or side quests or anything like that, I think I would give it to Wuthering. Cancerella's story was just it's too memorable for me, right? And it's mostly because like it was back and forth between her and Cartithia. And Zhu Yuan's story, I loved it. I really did love Zhu Yuan's story. It was cute. I got to know a lot more about Zhu Yuan. And no. Zenless is not ass. Bunny, Zenless is not ass at all. I love Zenless because Zenless gives me that persona vibe. It scratches my comic book itch. Like it has a really good form of storytelling. I love it. But like I said, if we're comparing kits or not kits, the character design and like the story element behind it, my favorite story from Zenless is Caesar's story. Yeah, my favorite story is Caesar's. Like in the second favorite story is all of section 6, the Miyabi. But
Hmm.
solo character, it's Cancerella and Cartithia. Absolutely.
Bro, it's so hard for me to choose. I don't know why I picked this as a topic. My favorite, my favorite out of all the games, Camellia. That's my goat. But I'm trying to think who my number two is in Wuwa. That's a hard one. Who's my number two?
Yeah.
Ooh. Because, like, I like Brant. I like Chun-Li. Well, I like Chun-Li's kid. I don't like her design. Ooh. I like... Wait, when you're considering design, you mentioned story. Are we considering story as well? And, like, the lore behind them?
I figured
Or
it
just,
would be
like, the way they're...
both.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was for like a me thing, right? Because like that definitely ties into the character's design overall. You know, like if I guess like let's say that we were looking at a character and we saw like Alto, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Alto was like this smooth, suave guy or whatever who's like a con artist. But then we played him and like we saw a little bit of his story, and in his story he was like some uh evil Yakuza mob villain. I don't fucking like I would never get that from him. So I'm like, this is a little contradicting, and then I would have to make a decision. But
Okay. Let's see. I like Camellia. Have you played Camellia's story?
no, I
I
had to
like
think about
Camellia's
that.
story. I like Camellia's story a lot. I think it's probably either best or second best in the game. I like Camellia's stories a lot. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but Camellia definitely my favorite design character in this game. Second favorite, ooh, if we're going purely on looks, it's either gonna be I like Consorella's design a lot. Actually,
Yeah.
it's funny. I think
Yeah.
she would look better if her boobs were nerfed. I think half the size of it, she looks
What?
better. Yep.
What?
I think her colors look super pretty though. I like her. I like the overall aesthetic of her. I like what they're going
No.
for. Nah, dude. Nah, dude. I can't do the
No.
like giant
She.
watermelons on the front. I can't do that shit,
No.
bro.
She. Okay. Listen. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. It's a part of her femme fatale. She has to have them. It's either she has big booba, or they give her like a fat ass, like, and I mean fat, like Nigerian woman fat ass. Like it's one or the other. She needs a strong femme fatale to like accentuate
How can you
what
be
she's
like a
got
femme
going on.
fatale though if you have like two giant like what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, you got two giant watermelons right in front of you that are blocking everything you do.
It fits her story. It fits her. It fits her design. It fits her design, right?
That gets in the way of combat though.
She doesn't no, but that's the thing. She doesn't. She's never physically interacting with somebody for combat.
Wait,
She's
did you
a
watch
ranged
the
fighter.
did you watch the character trailer?
Yeah, she's fighting like from a range, not like a super far range, but she's not like beating the shit out of people with her fists, right?
No,
She's
she
just
was
doing
melee
it-
range, wasn't she? I'm pretty sure she was melee range.
I feel like the jellyfish do the fighting for her. The jellyfish, you know, her abilities, like she's a very fluid fighter. But
I'm
I've
trying
never
to
seen her like
remember.
throwing hands, like she's punching and elbowing and using her legs. I've never seen her do that.
I remember her
Shout
starting
out
with like the kick
Nigeria.
or whatever. They got like Twitter super excited. I remember that. And then I
Kicking
think
is a little different. Everyone does a kick. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of norm. If
okay,
you will.
bro. I see. You can just say you like the big boobs and throw away the lore, bro. You don't got to give lore reasons for it. Just
but
say,
like no. It's a part of the lore. It's a part of the lore.
no. You could just say fuck the lore, bro. Just say you like it. Just say that's what you want. You could say lore be damned. All right, just say that.
Oh my gosh, man. You know, you just don't want the titties. I see what it is.
All I'm saying, Camellia is perfect size, bro. Perfect size. All right, we're going for, let's see, ZZZ. I just pull up a list for this one. Dude, that's a hard one. Because, like, Light is my goat, but then also Trigger's my goat, but then also Vivian's my goat, but then also Polkar's my goat. But then, like, Asha's also my goat. But then Anton's also my goat.
Polkar's got bigger titties than Cantarella.
And?
You do like big tits. Why can't Cantarella have them?
Because they look stupid on her, bro.
What?
They look stupid on her, bro. On Polkar, it looks so funny. It's funny as fuck. It's a furry with like some turbo omega watermelons on her. That's funny as shit. I'm laughing my ass off when I see her. I'm looking at Cantarella, it just looks stupid. Oh, I actually don't know who I'd pick. I'm probably let's see. Probably fuck it. Vivian Lighter. I'm picking those two. Vivian Lighter. Those are my two goats.
Okay.
And then overall design. Ooh. If we're going to if we're counting story, I mean, I think I like ZZ's design better regardless. I think the reason why I like ZZ's design specifically has to do with the fact that like Wuthering Waves is very like concentrated around like the anime look. You know what I mean? I like characters like designs more like Zani. But then we get things like Lupa, which look a little bit out of place, or like Cartethia, or like Chacona, or like Contarella. I mean, Brant's weirdly I like, even though it's more anime-esque. But I feel like a majority of the cast, dude, even like Camellia, as much as I like her, her outfit's a little bit weird to me. And then Shorekeeper's like the most egregious outfit. The one thing I like about Zenless Zone Zero, as far as like designs go, the outfits are like super cool, and they're like a lot of them are like super streetwear inspired too. All the characters feel so drippy. Have you seen like Ben's artwork? Ben looks so drippy, bro.
Ben's
that guy is sick.
Man.
Yeah, that guy is
Ben's
sick.
Good.
Actually, honestly, all of the Bellabog people look sick as fuck. They all look drippy. There's like very few character designs in here that I hate. Outside of Seed, fuck that character. But yeah, actually, wait, hold on. What's your thoughts on Seed?
I am not a fan of Seed entirely. Like, but I think for me though, right, I have to like separate it because I guess we've been so used to the whole like gooning aspect and like what's hot, what's not. But when they showed off the recent live stream and we got to see like Seed's little bit of the trailer,
right?
I don't think I'm looking at Seed that way. Like I really do feel like Seed is like damn, there's an anime I'm trying to think of. You ever seen shit, chat? Is it Eureka 7?
Eureka 7, yep. Dude, I said the same exact thing. I said the same exact thing.
She gives me those vibes. So I'm like, oh, this is little sister. Like we have to protect little sister. And like I'm all for that, right? Like if she's more like a little sister in my brain space,
right?
I really like her design because it gives off the, you know, I'm trying to be mature or grow up, but I'm also eating flowers. Like I still don't understand what I really need to be doing. And I'm just trying to like navigate through the world. And then they were like, oh, she's an orphan. and Seed Senior, found her and saved her from the Hollow. And I'm like, oh, that's a really interesting way to like kind of piece that together. So watching that little trailer definitely gave me a different perspective on her, and it did make me feel like I was kind of jumping into an Evangelion, Eureka
Hmm.
7, or even like a Gundam Light kind of story, right? So I mean, I like her design now, but it's definitely not one of like my top. Yo, Tillian, what's going on, big dog? How you doing? I'm doing well today. I'm doing well, man. We're chilling, chilling, chilling.
I think a good way of me putting it would be like I like her like personality. I actually didn't think I would, but like after the live stream, I thought her personality was actually really good in the live stream. But I fucking loathe her design. I hate everything about her design. I hate the foot gooner shit they were going with. I hate everything they were doing. I hate whatever the hell this like weird ass nipple outfit they got going on is. Like I'm just not a fan. All I'm saying is like Seed's trailer comes out, I'm giga hate watching.
Yeah.
I've never hate watched a character in gacha before, but this is gonna be my first time. I'm hate watching that shit.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
I've never felt that way about a character before. Dude, actually, you know what? My hot take, the first thing I've disagreed on you with so far, I hate Cartethia, bro. I hated that story. I hate her stupid ass outfit. I hate this character too. And I know most people disagree with that.
How?
I fucking hate this character. I hated the
How can you hate
All
her,
right.
bro?
I hated the
What?
waifu bait they had going on in the story. I hated like every single part
What?
of 2.2 where they waifu baited her. We just played through that yesterday because I started a new account on the Nuzlocke, bro. Oh my god, it actually just pissed me off. It was just so boring to me. If that was like a side story, they relegated to a side story, it would have been whatever. I wouldn't have thought much of it. But when it's a main story, that's just like, yeah, come on, bro. That's
All
boring.
right. So hear me out, right? I think, and this is like people are gonna be like, oh my god, I actually like Rover X Cancerella, or not Cancerella, Cartithia. I think it fits. If we're talking about like a purely like just from the story alone, that is pure anime. That's a pure anime story, like 100%. It's just too anime. You know what I mean? Like I watched the whole season. I banged it out just for them to not get together in the end. I gotta wait for season 2. That's how I feel right now. So, and then she transforms and she's like, "Yo, big booba mommy, dominant, big ass sword. I'll kill anybody for you." So I get the best of both worlds here. You know what I'm saying? No, Leonard, I'm not a self insert.
You're Rover, bro. Your ship with the
I don't like
Cartethia.
Rover. No.
Wait, you don't like Rover? Wait, what?
I'm not a fan of Rover. I've never been a fan of Rover
Why?
because I think Rover as a concept is boring.
Just
I
because
don't
he's
like
too
the
over.
godly
You don't like
thing.
overpowered characters?
It's not even that I don't like overpowered characters. I don't like unexplained overpowered characters. So Rover doesn't know why they're overpowered. We figure that out. And then
Right?
over the course of time, we learn potentially that Rover is God or some form or some godlike being
Mm-hmm.
to the Resonators, the Thronodians, and anything like that, right? And it's like, okay, cool. How? Now we're figuring out the how part. Rover still doesn't know the how part, and no one else knows the how. Like we're constantly looking for the how or the why, and it doesn't make sense. So it's like kind of like meeting God in real life if you were a believer of faith, but no one knows how he became what he is. He doesn't know how he became what he is. It's like the story just doesn't connect enough, right? And everyone else has so much more. And even for Lova, people are flaming the interaction between the two of them. They have a better story dynamic, right? Like it's more interesting than Rover.
Mm-hmm.
If they would have just done something maybe a little cleaner in terms of the execution as far as like who Rover is, or even if they left it to where like we have a lot of power, we don't understand the power, but they left the godlyhood out of it. Like we just, oh, Rover created this and Rover's the person of this, and like Jue, if they would have just left it like, yo, Rover was Jue's original resonator and something happened and like neither of them know about it, and now we're trying to figure out what happens. But now the fucking Kelpie, the unicorn, she knew Rover from 50 years ago, and she's like, oh yeah, you told me like go full power and I could do whatever I want to get the job done. So I turned into the fucking the throne. I'm like, yeah, what the fuck? Like, so it just he's playing New Game Plus. Thank you. Rover's playing New Game Plus with no stats. He's building everything back up, but he's still just as strong, right? But he doesn't know how he beat the game. It's it's like your uncle gave you a copy of Dark Souls, right? And he's like, yo, just go play this game. Uncle Bob, how did I get here? I honestly don't know how I beat the game, so just go through and figure it out. But he's dropping tidbits the whole time you're playing. Oh yeah, you're going against fucking Ornstein. Yeah, you're gonna want to drag him into the corner. Oh, is that fucking Smog over there? Don't let Smog hit you, and you want to actually parry the hammer. And then, well, how do you know this? I don't know. I'm just telling you things that I think I remember. Like, bro.
I've never personally been a fan of self-insert type characters. I've just never found it like a compelling story. One of the biggest L's for ZZ for me over that is the fact that you don't have that, and so that means that they get to spend more of the time focusing on like the characters and their interactions, right? Because they don't have to always focus on Wise and Bell. Whereas like this game, you never see any aspect of this game where you're not focused on Rover and whatever Rover's story is, right? And I think that's one of the biggest downsides with the story. Because there's a lot of interesting characters with like interesting personalities. Like Camellia, Consorella, which you brought up, Furlova, as like 3 examples out of the many. And I would love to see like all of their personalities end up shining more instead of just having them essentially be like act in like service or like their personalities essentially just like only exist to be in service to Rover. I find that boring. I'd rather they interact with each other. And as I was playing ZZ, specifically Sons of Caledon, actually, I really like the character dynamics in there and how they would interact with each other and how that showcased their personalities more and more. That was one of my favorite parts about the ZZ story. And I don't even like generally like gacha stories. I thought the actual like story itself was like kind of, it was decent, but not like super amazing or anything, but like the character dynamics in there were really good. Easily my favorite part about ZZZ. And it definitely sold the story in a better light for me. It sucks too, because I do like Wuwa characters have good personalities, or like there's a good amount of characters that have good personalities. They just don't get to shine because they never interact with each other. These characters need to be put in situations with each other. Actually, one suggestion I saw was you can have it so that way the characters just like show up in events and stuff like that, right? Like there's an event going on occasionally that's like there's like a hamster or something like that, and it's just like some Gamba event or whatever. You like spin a wheel. What if instead of just like some random NPC like there, what if you just had like one of like the characters come around and be like the NPC you interact with that? That would be so much cooler.
I'd like that. I actually would really enjoy if, as you were mentioning, the character connects between, and even if it wasn't a part of the main story, like as itself, if Wuthering used like their side stories or their quests or their events, just like you mentioned, in order to help you get to more familiar with these characters, like do stuff, that'd be super cool. I remember there was it the damn it wasn't the festival. It was a concert or something like that. One of the characters was hosting a concert. The anniversary, yeah. And like it was everyone came through, you logged in every day, and then like you would get a little card and it would tell you like who got invited, why they got invited, and like what they liked about them. I feel like if they would have turned that into an actual event where the characters were interacting with each other, and like for instance, like Christmas or Thanksgiving, if they had a little special event and Cancerella gives a card to Cartithia and she's like, hey, or rather reverse, Cartithia gives a card to Cancerella and she's like, hey, I really, really do appreciate having you in my life. Even if we don't talk as much as we could, I'm glad you're still doing well. I'm glad you're around. And I'm glad to call you like my best friend or my sister or whatever the fuck, right? That would be really cool and a really good way to have these characters interact and not take up too much time for whatever's going on in the main story.
Yeah, I want to. Well, I think it should. I think the characters should interact in the main story. I think that'd be cool as fuck. That's what I like about ZZZ, or part of what I like about
it
ZZZ.
would be cool, but now you're not playing Wuthering Ways, bro. You're playing something else,
bro. Well, that's one of my least favorite.
Wuthering Ways is about God Rover.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of my least favorite parts. I want it to be like I want the characters to shine more. Even if you want to focus on Rover or whatever specifically, that's fine. I don't have complaints about that. I just think while you're doing that, other characters should have like the chance to shine as well. I think you can still have both. You can do both. You can have characters. I mean, even if you want to like have a Rover be there like omnipresent, because you're technically always playing as Rover, right? Even if you want to do that, why not just have it so like Rover's interacting with multiple people at the same time? They kind of did it with like Consorella and Cartethia, but they don't really like interact with each other that much. Like they can just do more stuff like that where the characters actually show up again. I mean, maybe they'll do that in the future with the anniversary, like actually showing characters interacting in like cutscenes and whatnot. It seems like maybe they have plans for it. I don't know, but that's one of the things I'm hopeful for in the story, at least.
I like that. Also, Tiger, no, that event was awesome. I remember that the Chingy event was super cool.
What was that?
So basically, Chingy had a fishing event, and like there was this, her little old people or whatever that she fished with at one point, and an older man that was running the fishing tournament. And what ended up happening was you got to interact with everyone from the story at that point in time in order to like just, do the event and who was doing what. And they tied it in a way where it's like this story isn't so much about fishing anymore. It's about like someone cheating and, teaching them why they shouldn't cheat or whatever. Now, obviously, probably arresting them because she's a cop and some other BS. And then a lighthouse and like why the lighthouse was so important. And it was a really good way of showing that the world of Zenless is not so one dimensional. It's not just about the twins. It's not just about, Section 6 or the investigation security squad. It's everyone is living life. Like it feels it's good world building. Thank you. It's amazing world building because everyone is always living life. That and I talk about that all the time with like why I don't like the open world experience in Wuthering Waves. And it's not to say like one is better than the other, but it's more so along the lines of like when I'm playing a world building game, this could be Skyrim, this could be Zelda Breath of the Wild, this could be Fallout, any of these games. It's all about does the world feel alive? Do I feel immersed in the world? If I go to random town number A and I go talk to, random shopkeeper Jenny and I come back 4 days later, is Jenny is Jenny still here standing in the same spot? Or is she moving around the shop? Is she gonna tell me a different story? Like, oh yeah, well, you came here last time and we bought you an ale, but now, right, me and my husband, we got into a fight and he's off in a cave somewhere and I haven't seen him in 4 days. Could you go get him? Yes. Like make shit like that because it adds to the world. What the fuck is Jenny's husband doing in a cave? Like, why did you run away to the cave? You know what I mean? Like, I like stuff like that. So that's a gamer thing, right? That's me as a gamer. I don't think gacha games are ready for that yet.
You're expecting AAA quality from these games, bro? No way.
Absolutely. You know how much money they make?
Dude, they actually make so much. They literally make more than the AAA companies do. It's actually fucked up how much these games print. Like,
That's
it's actually
what I'm
unethical.
saying.
They actually
could definitely do that.
It's actually just so fucked up how much money they make relative to like how much content they're putting out. Which like, I just more power to them. But at least give it. Whenever I see. All right. Side notes, like slight tangent. Whenever I see people like talking about like the companies need to make money or whatever, when they're talking about like practices that the companies do or whatever, I'm always like, bro, there is no way you actually know how much money these companies are making. Because if you knew how much money these companies were making and actually understood what those dollar signs meant, there's no way you would ever fucking defend these companies, bro.
Yup.
I don't get it. I feel like it had like that's like one of like the few takes where I'm like, bro, everyone who says that shit definitely has to be rage baiting. There's no shot, bro. There's no shot they're not rage baiting.
I think they are, bro.
They're
Also,
definitely
Johan, yes, that's a good team. It's a mono shock team. It's gonna require you to learn how to play it, but it's a really good team.
That's actually one interesting thing that you pointed out about Wuwa that I didn't really think too much about. The world feels like it doesn't feel like it's alive. Yeah, it feels like the world exists for you to like. I mean, I guess go to places and collect stuff, but not actually like legitimately interact with it. If that makes sense. The only interactions you have with the actual world is like killing the echoes, but it's not like the world itself that you interact with. You're not like really doing stuff with the world. You're not interacting with the environment. You kill echoes, you farm echoes, and that's about it. I didn't really think about that much because honestly, like the open world experience is well not what I play either Wuwa or even when I played Genshin. I didn't play Genshin for that either. I played this game for the combat. I like the combat. The combat is the main thing that keeps me in. I actually don't even like the open world. Or I don't like open world in general, I should say. It's not like a knock on this game's open world. I just don't like open world. I don't like moving around. I want to do combat. I want to go in holograms. I want to go in tower. I want to beat the shit out of stuff. I want to fuck around with quick swap comps. That's what I want to do. I don't want to go do open world stuff.
That's fair. That's fair. Do you do a lot of side quests in Wuthering?
I mean, I guess I do by virtue of the fact that I have 8 accounts in this game, and that requires a lot of EXP gathering, but
have you ever done the one about the Threnodian concert? It's early.
Oh, the piano guy? Yeah, the old guy.
It's my favorite side quest that I've done so far.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's the fuck, where's the area? It's over by Nostalgia Isle. That's what it's called. Okay, by the Firefly Seas, the Inferno Rider place. Yeah, I remember this one. Yeah, that's actually one of the more memorable. Actually, that's probably the most memorable one. They have like a giant amphitheater.
I think it's the most memorable.
Yeah,
yes,
I'm literally here right now in front of it.
Yeah, that's my favorite quest so far, like the side quest in the entire fucking game, because it's just as you said, it's memorable. But I think for me, that really set the pace of like where I thought Wuthering Waves was going, story wise. I thought it was gonna be one of the games where like, because she talks about it in the quest. Like for those that don't know, and I don't want to spoil too much, so I'll just tell you guys like the beginning of that side quest. Right, basically, little ghost girl or whatever, she gets to tell you about what happened. She doesn't realize it yet. You quickly realize it, but she's dead. Um, she died in a random Thernodian outburst. Like it just spawned out of nowhere, right? During this concert that they were all going to, and everyone got fucking sliced up. And you read something like that, you experience something like that when you go through the side quest, but then you don't really get that at all ever in the open world. At no point will a random Thernodian tacit field just randomly open up with a powerful Thernodian or a powerful, list of Thracians. Thracians, wow. No, I'm right. Yeah, the fuck, you know what I'm talking about. They don't just pop up out of nowhere and now it's time for you to fight. I would love that.
Two things on that. One, someone actually pointed out that in the Inferno Rider place, if you remember, when you first go there, the entire place is on fire because you haven't liberated it from the Inferno Rider yet. And then the environment
Yeah.
actually changes when you do that quest line, and you can actually like interact with it. Everything like turns green and stuff. The sky, I think like lightens up and everything. That's a cool aspect of
Mhm.
world building. I actually forgot about that because it's been
Yeah, I love that. And I love to double down with you on that. Because I'm sure your chat would know. There's also another region with the monkeys when you have to go through with the gas.
oh the dim
Stuff like
light
that is
area with like
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
moons
Doing stuff like that is really cool. And I feel like if
over here.
Wuthering would have leaned more into that, that definitely would have been, like a power play in their alley.
Oh, what was the other thing I was gonna say? Oh, the quest, we were just talking about. That reminded me of Tactop. Actually, I thought it was like a nod to that. It sounded like a very similar story to what happened in Tactop, but I'm not gonna spoil that. But that's like I remember. I distinctly remember when I was watching that show, and I honestly don't remember too much of that show. I thought that was like actually just like a nod to that story. Um, fuck, I'm trying to think if there's other like open world stuff that happened. Oh, there's like a giant tornado over by the Heron wetlands. You know where the Mech bomb is? There's a
Yeah.
giant tornado over there that you had to like actually like dispel. I forget how exactly you dispel it. There's like a whirlwind machine or something that dispels it or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you get rid of the whirlwind over there, and that changes the environment because you actually can't access that area until you do that quest. That's another aspect.
Yeah.
Fuck. Actually, there's more. There's like certain holes inside of the world that you can open up and like go into. Do you know what that perspective bender is?
I don't think so.
So there's like small like caves you can open up. I think two. Yeah, there's a second one. There's parallel perception and then perception or perspective bender. Those are the two that I know of. One of them's over by Scar and the other one is over by Impermanence Heron on the map.
Okay.
And you can like open up those. Actually, I think one of them just like a dungeon you go into, and the other one's like a hole in the side of a mountain. But there's like little exploration areas in there, and that stuff like that makes the world feel more alive. But I can't remember too much of that, or if any of that, happening in 2.0. I can't think of any off the top of my head.
I think the world for 2.0 was just beautiful. Like they did a really good job of just making it pretty. Um, what I would have loved though from Wuthering, I swear I talk about this all the time too. And as soon as I say it, like my chat is usually like, "Oh shit, I do get that vibe," or like that would have been crazy. The world of Rhinne as a whole, especially when you like leave the town, it feels like a Zelda game, and I really wish they would have pushed that. The dungeons that you go through with Cartithia or with Cancerella, they feel like Zelda dungeons. The upside down, having to do the puzzles and figure things out. All they had to do, all they had to do was like make it so that you randomly collect items that help you traverse across these maps, and it would have just been straight up a 1-to-1 to Zelda.
But there's a cool ass. Have you seen this whale constellation over here in 2.0? This thing looks sick as
Let me see.
fuck. I'll
Whale,
screenshot it
whale.
and send it over to you.
Oh, ooh,
Oh.
no, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, that thing is sick. There's a bunch of like Easter eggs like this in the map. I think there's like
Whoa, that is so
a Milky
pretty.
Way galaxy over. Fuck, I forget where I was. There's a few others too, in like the later zones of the map. They have a bunch of Easter eggs like this that just look super pretty in the
They
sky.
should just make. I'm telling you, dude, if they just push side quests, it would just work. It would just work in their favor.
I'm trying to think if there's any like side quests added recently. I can't remember doing any off the top of my head actually. That's funny. I actually can't think of too many. Oh wait, one thing that happens is I think the Garden of the Lost where you turn in the Sonus caskets or whatever. This actual garden gets a little bit more alive as you turn in more of the Sonus caskets in 2.0. So that's something that they added in the new area. You'll get like more of like the plushies around the area, or like there's like more like the dancing dudes. I don't have any to turn in. Oh yeah, yeah. There's like plushies outside of the village that are like friendly and like working on the village and stuff like that, like interacting with like other echoes, and they're just like hanging out over here. It's pretty cool. And then so as you explore more, as you unlock more of it, that adds to the environment. I actually don't interact with this place too much though. I didn't. So I don't know the last time I was over here actually. This little dude just digging. All right, let's move on to our last topic. It's going to be the number one thing you think that the other game should poach from the other game. And the number one thing that in your case Zenless Zone Zero should poach from Wuwa, and in my case that Wuwa should poach from Zenless Zone Zero. I already alluded to what I was going to say earlier, so I'm just going to go ahead and say it.
Yeah,
I think that they need to copy DA. I think DA is probably the best endgame mode I played in a gacha. I want Wuwa to be removed from the game. I don't think that's a hot take either. Every time I give this take, every time I say Wuwa needs to be removed, I see literally everybody agreeing with me. Remove Wuwa. Nobody wants to see this game mode. Put DA in the game. Everybody's happy. It gives people something to aim for in the end game. The best part about DA, it gives you something. It gives you like something more to play for outside of just speedrunning, right? Because you have like a giant point system outside of just getting your initial like clear, right? They tried to do that on Wuwa, but the problem is no one wants to do Wuwa because the game mode is just too boring and it's just killing mobs over and over again, and it's just like so badly designed. If they copied DA, try to like find ways to make boss fights more interactive, I think that would be really good for the game. It would make it so the character kits are like more highlighted and it'd feel more the game would feel more like I was playing a game than it would like I'm playing like individual characters and their kits. And I'd really want to see that.
Okay. So my answer, I feel like the general answer that I have is quality of life. Like if I had to say what does Wuthering or what does Zenless take away from Wuthering, it would absolutely be quality of life. But there's a lot that I really want taken from Wuthering or borrowed and put into Zenless, and I think it would just make it a much better experience overall, which again comes down to quality of life. So my one answer is quality of life, but we can't just have a one answer thing, right? Like I gotta give you some definitions, if you will. I gotta explain, I gotta elaborate for your video, get that watch time up. So here's the thing, right, guys? Yes, guaranteed weapon banner is on that list. Fuck the 75-25s, get rid of them. Guaranteed weapon banner. Absolutely. Speaking of the banner, there's something that Wuthering does that other other JP gacha games do, but Chinese gacha games do not. To my understanding, there might be some that do it, but the games that I've played, they don't do it. Wuthering has the whale dust, right? Like you spend so much when you're doing the pulls, you get the currency back. You can then spend 360 to buy a constellation of whatever that character is currently on the banner. Every fucking Hoyo game needs that same thing. But like it saves so much. Yeah, and you cap it out up to 2, right? You cap it out. It saves so much. It helps whaling. There's so many people that are like casual, regular Andes that just whale in Wuthering Waves for their favorite character because they're not spending $5 million for the character. They're spending like 400, 500 max, which they've saved up for, right? So that would be the other thing that I would want taken. The next thing is loadouts. I love that you guys got echo presets before any other Hoyo game. It's ridiculous. And I would love if we got disc loadouts, right? To make us, because Zenless is, which is funny, you mentioned it earlier. Wuthering, there's very, very little reason for you to be changing out your echoes here and there. Because there's not like situational reason that you would use these echoes, right? Once you build them, you build them. But in Zenless, there is absolutely any given reason as to why you would want to swap out your loadouts. Nicole and Lucy have like 4 or 5 different loadouts that they can use. Caesar is like very, very jack of all trades. She can pretty much use almost anything in the game. Yuzuha has 3 or 4 different loadouts that she can use, and one that's really unorthodox, but it completely works, which is the 4-piece burning set. So on and so forth, right? Miyabi has multiple loadouts that she could use if you really wanted to. You have all of your DPS. Evelyn has like 5 different loadouts that she can use now, including a 222. So having disc loadouts for that would have been phenomenal if we could have that. Um, that might be it though, as far as like the quality of life that I'm thinking about right now. And maybe actually, because we do have some form of open world in our game now. I think if we were able to farm disc the way that you guys could farm echoes,
Mm-hmm.
I would really appreciate that. But obviously cap it, right? So my concept for that would be like a little bit of a twist and yoink, if you will, or yoink and twist. And it would be taking the open world aesthetic of like what you can farm for your echoes and combining it with Genshin Impact's this is gonna sound crazy, combine it with Genshin Impact's day gating or time gating. The reason I say that is because if you were to give someone the ability to infinitely farm, it does more harm than it does good. If you were to then take this concept from Wuthering and slap it in Zenless, and you could use Hollow Zero, you could use the 2.0 open world map that like Ishwin with all the miasma, they have access to that, but you make it so that you can still farm all of the discs that you want, right? Like, so, max out like 10 a day or whatever, I don't know, on top of whatever you can go farm normally with your stamina. But this free farming doesn't use stamina. But the trade off is that you don't use stamina, but you can only farm certain discs on certain days or certain pairs of disc on certain days. I think this way it allows the person who wants to grind for that disc set or like try and get it, it gives them the opportunity to do it without worrying about stamina because stamina is already expensive.
Isn't that just
I know
gonna
you guys are
make
saying
the actual like level up currency the main gate then for your drive discs?
probably, but it like that's where all of your Zenless is a very expensive game to build characters. And I don't really think people understand that. Like when you pre-farm the character, it doesn't feel as expensive, right? Because you have those 2 to 3 weeks to gather all the materials and then you're playing the character. But a brand new player or someone who's a new player, or even like you're just trying to build something for a new team, right? In order for you to build it, we just talked about it earlier, that's 2 to 3 weeks worth of time. But if you had a free way to grind out these discs or any resource, any leveling up resource, if you had a free way to grind it out, but it was limited in some way, shape, or form, I do truly think players would appreciate that more than the strict requirements or the strict resources that we have right now.
What's the difference between that and say like Z merits, for example, and the grinding you do there to get the mats that are like the same exact mats, right? Because you can get I think you can get the Bardic Needle copies there for the drive discs. You can also get like level up mats there too. Isn't that just like the same exact thing except not open world?
Mm, correct me if I'm wrong. How many of those do you get when you do like Hollow Zero? Because it
I don't
does
remember
feel
off the
like
top of my head.
it feels like a little bit. Chat, if you guys can help us out, that might help me like kind of picture what I'm going. Yeah, because to my knowledge, demerit farming is mostly for like Denny's. I don't really think that you can get disk drives and things like that. Um, but if you can, then that would work out, right? That would help out. But it's one of those things where like how do I explain it? I think it's one of those things where like the players they're at a point now where like they're grinding for disc to build certain teams, or certain characters a certain way. They understand how tedious it is to get that. And then on top of the fact, we don't have a reroll system. So Starro has one, Genshin has one now, and I think you guys have one as well, but I could be wrong
We
on
have a
that.
main
Or-
stat selector, but I mean that's kind of
Okay.
helpful. It makes it so you don't have to farm as many echoes, so that's cool. I actually I mentioned it before. I like it more than I thought I would, but it's not like a big deal or anything. At the end of the day, you would just go farm like a little bit more echoes or do a little bit more Tassa fields, and it wouldn't be like the biggest issue.
Okay. So then for us, right, which we're probably in the same ballpark here now, then we also have the main stat, which is the calibrating tuner. We've had that since the start of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But if we roll like +4 in defense, so let's say you use your tuner on a main stat attack percent disc for 5 or 4 or 6, right? Which are the ones that you can choose from. But then you +4 in defense. That piece is just dead. It's trash. It's over. And
Mm-hmm.
in order for you to take that piece and then throw it back in a Bardic Needle, you get 75% of the materials you use to level it up. That's fine. but you don't get 75% of the materials to farm or to like pick more disc. So all of the disc that you would have used or all of the experiences or resources, the golden little plates that you use in order to fish for the disc in Bardic Needle, you don't get enough of those back to fish for the disc. If there's a way to grind for it though, but the trade-off is time, it, like why would I don't me the way that I'm thinking about it, like I don't see how that would be an issue because you're not spending any resources, you're not spending any stamina, you're not
Hmm.
spending any money. You are literally just trading your time. Like if you're already going to be playing the game, all you're doing is trading time to go farm for, like the actual disc, not the I mean, I guess they could include the experience points in there if they wanted to, but you're farming for the actual disc for free or the character level up materials or the skill chips, anything really. But I just feel like we're at a point now, especially with these gacha games, we shouldn't have to pay for everything in the game with stamina, especially when we can't use money to circumvent that. Because that's the whole thing of whaling, right? Whaling's whole purpose, I want to pay so that I don't have to do whatever it is. And yeah, fair. That's why I said earlier you limit it. Maybe you can only do this 5 times a day or 10 times a day, right? But it's free. The whole point was that it's you're trading time. There has to be a trade-off for being able to do this thing for free. It's not infinite. You can't just do it forever all day 24/7 because at that point it's broken.
I don't remember how good it was, but I remember Genshin had like the wasn't there like artifacts you can go get from the open world that were like green or whatever, and I think those were used for like level up EXP and stuff like that. I don't know how often you could do that, but I remember there's like
I
certain
think
aspects around like Liu or something where you could do that, but you got like basically nothing for resources when you actually did go out and get artifacts. But I don't I mean, obviously, something like that would be good for the game. I don't know how realistic it is, though. I feel like I don't see a gacha game making it so you can infinitely grind for any. Or I guess if you're like daily gated, not even then. I don't see them making it so you can actually grind. Like Wuwa like made it so you could grind for echoes, but the problem
mhm.
is like tuners and tubes just end up becoming the gate. Then, right? I feel like ZZZ, they probably don't want to do that because if you make it so people can grind for more drive discs, you're making it so they essentially have to spend less for the level up mats as well because they can just farm for like instead of like settling for like let's say just like correct crit damage and 2 dead stats, they can wait to hit like 3 stats on there or maybe even 4 stats and make it so it's guaranteed a good disc, and that would also make it so uh they also have like stronger characters and whatnot, right? Which would make it so they're less likely to buy sequences or signature weapons just because they don't feel like they need the extra power. I don't. I mean, obviously, like I agree with that. Anything that's player friendly is great. I just don't know how realistic something like that is compared to like the other changes you suggested.
Yeah, I can see it. I mean, it's up in the air, right? That's just one of the changes that I would want. I think with for me, like building them out. And Shino, you asked like how quickly am I in a rush to like spend my stamina? You can spend your stamina in less than 5 minutes in this game, and you're out, including the coffee. Like it's not it's not hard to blow. But
Yeah,
yeah, I
dailies are
wouldn't I
pretty
wouldn't want to
fast.
spend they're pretty fast. I wouldn't want to spend hours playing the game either, like grinding. That's why I said for the way that I think about it is like it's one or the other, like it's either gonna be my time that I trade or it's gonna be money. And I or in
Hmm.
this case stamina, I guess, but that's kind of the whole thing is that everything has an equivalent exchange.
What do you think about the open world in ZZZ? I actually don't interact with it too much, like the stuff they added in 2.0. It's I don't know
I
the
don't
last time
like
I
it.
went in there.
It's okay. Because it's stationary. There's nothing to do. Right? Like they
Exactly.
made this open world thing for this event, or rather for the story. And it's really cool to just experience and go through. But then they did nothing with it. So that's why I was like, if they did something with it, then you could make it the hey, I'm gonna go farm, fanged metal on a Tuesday. And like now there's a reason for you to go through it a couple times a day, casually or whatever, and just look for what you're doing.
Hmm. Yeah, I do feel like it was a missed opportunity because I legitimately don't ever see a reason for me to go in it. I've never once thought like, oh, the open world is over here. Let me go actually go interact with that, right? I probably actually
Yeah.
no, I went in there one time specifically just to see like if there's anything I wanted to do in there. There's like some chests on the map you can grab, and outside of that, maybe getting like a pull total if you do like the entire like one of like the few regions you have. So like maybe you get like a total of like 3 pulls from every single chest there. Like it's just like not nothing there is worth doing. That's kind of sad. I do hope they do something with it.
Same. I just don't want it to be story locked. You know, every time they do a story, maybe they update it, but that's kind of whatever, I guess.
They update it, you get to go through the world, and then you forget about it until the next patch.
They're like, "Are you gonna play open?" They're gonna ask that in the survey. How do you like open world? Like, I don't play it.
No, actually, no. I'm curious though. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go through the Twitch for like ZZZ occasionally, and I'm gonna see if I can ever find someone actually doing the open world for it. I don't think I'll ever tune into someone's stream and see them doing open world. I'll either see them like drive disc farming or doing like DA or She or something.
Oh, okay, that'd be pretty fun to see. Just to see like if they're doing it or not.
Well, I just want to see like is there ever like a time where someone is like legitimately in it outside of story? It just no, right? So why does it exist? It's just there as like a gimmick to like say that we added something new, I guess. I'm not sure.
It might be. It might be.
The stories, if we had Notorious. Oh. Oh, what do you think about Swabian Temple?
I hate like it's cool concept. I don't like the management behind it, and I don't want to be bothered to do it either. You know, and like the fact that it feels mandatory in a way. Um, there's no benefit. Like it again, right? The resources. If you're gonna make someone trade their time or trade their ability to do all of that stuff, then give more resources. You get matched for temple stuff, you don't get enough. For the amount of time that you have to put into doing the temple, I feel like you don't get enough of the materials. Again, character resource materials, right? Or weapon material resources. You don't get enough of it in
Mhm.
order to make that trade-off worth it.
Yeah, I'll do it like I'll like occasionally throw my bang boos in there or whatever, but like I don't interact with the mode too much. I'm only like level like 30 something. I'm not even what's the max in there? Like 40ish, I
Mhm.
think. Yeah, I'm not even maxed out on there yet. And I just like throw my bang boos in there. I get some like extra currency, let it pop off a little bit. I'll go buy stuff or whatever if I can from the shop, and if I can't, I don't really care because it's actually just not worth my time. It
You just
doesn't.
cut out again.
Oh, I love Discord. Discord is a banger, bro. We love this app. I like constantly cutting out and not being able to talk properly. Yeah, I
Discord's
just don't
been
ever see a
tripping
reason for me to
today.
go there. I mean, it's extra resources, I guess. There's the grinding you wanted, but it's just not interesting for me. It's doing the
Yeah.
same exact thing for every single part of Swabian. You just go there, you throw your bangos in, and that's it. There's no thought process. There's nothing interesting happening. And then you do that for every single one. There's like 50 you have to go through, and then they just made it the same exact thing for all 50. Why would they do that?
Yep. Yep. Fish. Someone said it in the chat. Hermit, did you say that? Or who? Yeah, Hermit said it. Fishing is more fun. I did enjoy the fishing too.
The fish. Oh, the from the summer event.
Hmm. Just in general, like all of the fishing events that we had so far have been pretty entertaining.
I like the
Like little stuff like that should have just been adding into the game, like some Animal Crossing shit.
I think my favorite event so far in ZZ has been the Mech Bang Boo event. That one was a banger. I like that one.
That one was fun. That one was definitely fun. It frustrated me a little bit towards the end because like, man, how do I get these points while using these particular builds? And then like Logan helped me figure it out, and I was like, okay, great, I get it now.
I just had my
But
chat give me the Meta Golem build and I smashed the whole thing.
oh yeah, no, dude, Crumb, the photo event was the fucking best, bro. That was so fun. That one and the lighter beat 'em up. I really enjoyed that one.
That sounds before my time. I have no idea what that is.
The photo event was like super early on, I think. Maybe and for whatever reason, they just haven't given us that camera. There's an item in the game for that event specifically that lets you take pictures mid combat. So that people were getting some crazy shots, dude. Like they were getting shots of, Jane leaping into the air and just doing a dive kick. She looks like
Oh, I
Cammy
thought it
from
was just
Street
gonna be all
Fighter.
Gooner shots.
Well, I mean, there were a lot of those, but the more cool shots were the more dynamic ones, you know? Because now you get into like, if Jane's coming down from the air, you can switch out and go into like Seth and he can charge up his blade. Or, you know, you can go into Piper and she can swing her axe, or, you know, Bernice and she shoots the flamethrower. So a lot of people were just doing some really crazy stuff like that because the camera was one button. Like you do whatever you want, press the button, and then you get a freeze frame. And you can swap the camera around, you can flip it, you can twist it, you can change the filter. It was super cool.
Wait, I have a question. How lucky are you?
Me?
Yeah.
My luck is horrendous if we're talking about gacha games.
Okay, never mind.
Specifically Hoyo games. My Wuthering luck was insane. Don't know why. My Brown Dust 2 luck is pretty damn good. Don't know why. My Nikkei luck is okay. I have somehow remained free to play in both of those games, and I have almost every character in the game.
My luck is god awful dog shit. I lose like every single 50-50. I don't know why. I legitimately feel like I'm cursed. All right, I did win my last one. We got Brant in like 20 pulls or whatever. I think that's
Nice.
legitimately like one of the first times I've actually been early. I almost always go to pity, and I almost always lose 50-50. I think I'm probably like, ooh, if I had to guess, I'm like 7 50-50s under par, which is fucking crazy.
I feel you on that, dude. I hate it. I hate it.
Fuck
I've
gacha
lost all
games,
the
bro.
50-50 so far.
I actually hate them, bro. All right, dude. At least I won. At least I won the 75-25. If I lost my 75-25 for each one birdcage, I would have uninstalled the game on the spot. I would have been so angry. Losing a wait, have you lost the 75-25?
Yes.
Dude, that actually has to be the most miserable feeling ever. I don't know how the hell they thought it was okay to have a 75-25 in the game. That is actually crazy. If you
It's
lose that, you actually
horrible.
uninstall the game.
And they do nothing to like make up for it. You know, you're cooked. And I think for me, what bothers me the most is whenever I have to go, not only do I lose that 50-50 or 75-25, they take me to max pity again. And brother, at least let me get it at a 50, at a 40 pull, maybe 30 even. Like they take me all the way. And when I say down, they're taking me down to like where you have 2 pulls left until your next S rank. Like that's where I'm at. I hate it.
Dude, at least if you lose to like a standard banner character, the sequences or whatever are at least somewhat useful depending on who you get, right? Like, I wouldn't complain if I had like a M1 Rhinne or whatever. Well, I'd complain because like fuck losing 50-50, but like it's not god awful. But like
Yeah, you
most
know?
of the once you already have like a copy of the weapons or whatever, you're probably like turbo pissed if you get the same exact thing, or you get like one of the dog shit ones.
Welcome to my Soldier 11 pools and my Nekomata pools. Which, like, to be fair, like Nekomata is really cool when you get Mindscapes with her, but I would much rather not lose.
I'd much rather not play Nekomata.
Especially when I have the Jane and the Alice.
I'm aiming for M6 Soldier. I'm a bit of a psychopath. During the anniversary, I picked Soldier 11 when I already had her at M1.
Why?
I gotta be the Soldier 11 main, bro. I heard Orphe's gonna buff her. I don't know. Maybe I get to pull the Orphe for her. We'll see. Oh wait, have they done the math on the new basic attack set for Soldier?
I don't think so, not yet. But I'm really positive that's gonna be her new best set. Especially if you're pretty adept at like learning the game and getting skilled. Getting her input timing for Soldier 11 means that you always get the bonuses from that set. You get a plus 60% damage bonus for everything all the time.
Wait, it's
Even
for everything?
when you use it's her basic attacks, and everything that Soldier 11 does is basic attack damage. Or rather, it's her predominant form of damage is basic attack. So her skill, the only reason you're using that is to activate the infinite, you know, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with her basic attacks. Her ultimate, that's a really big move, right? With the flip blade. But then you're still just doing right after you do the ult 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's all basic attack damage. So it's a plus 60% from the set. And then you also get the what was it? You get whatever equipment you're rocking with her, so your gear set. You get the crit damage bonus on top of that. You get the attack percent bonus. So with Orphe, in the live stream, they mentioned that she's going to be able to buff up the attack percent or attack damage as well. And the only thing that I think you might miss out on when it comes to Orphe is that your aftershock damage, because Orphe gives a pretty big boost or rather a pretty big defense shred. I think it's defense shred for aftershock damage, or it's damage boost for aftershock damage. One of the two, but it's exclusive to aftershock, so soldier like doesn't benefit from that. But everything else she benefits from.
Oh wait, I'm debating pulling for Trigger, but I don't want to get her W engine. Am I stupid if I pull her?
You're not stupid. No. Why don't you want her W engine?
Because I don't want to spend money.
Do you have Jafufu?
I have lighter.
Okay, so you could get Trigger if you really wanted to. You could also skip Trigger if you're planning on using like Soldier, and you could just play Soldier, Lighter, Orphe.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of doing. Yeah. But then I was wondering, like,
But you would benefit more from Soldier, Trigger, and Orphe, as far as like the concept of the team goes. But Lighter would help you out too.
I was thinking like, ooh, there's like a few characters I want to pick up. Trigger was one of them, and then Vivian's the other. But I don't have. Oh, I know. I have
What up,
Miyabi.
Flossin? Miyabi's great. Miyabi's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I've been practicing Mono Ice. That comp is fun.
Yeah.
What's I gonna say though? Fuck, I don't remember what I was gonna say, bro. I wanted to get Hugo, but then I was playing some Hugo, and even with like some pretty good stats in his W engine, his clears are so fucking miserable. I don't know. I don't understand. Like, people will tell me that character's good, and then I'll play him, and I'll watch other people play him too, and he looks so mid, and I get really confused.
You're talking about in Shiyu, yeah?
Both.
Well, so in Deadliest Soul, it's a lot more difficult to play Hugo. Like, you really need to understand what you're doing. But in Shiyu, you should absolutely have some of the more easier clears, because he really is good at it. But that goes into what I was mentioning earlier, right? Where it's like you need to understand why you're doing what you're doing, or having a certain stun character do certain things. Hugo is all about getting a very fast stun, making sure that he has energy to do his EX skill or his ult, and then operating based off of that. If you can do that, if you can play that, Hugo is one of the best characters currently in the game for Shiyu defense clears.
Really
Because it's just one
interesting.
button. He literally just presses one button and like, okay, I press one button, 3 million HP gone. I press one button, 4 million HP gone. Like he's good.
You use Hugo on
And you
Miyazu
have lighter
Fiends?
too, so that's
Is
literally
he
his like
specifically
bread and
bad
butter.
there? Yeah, lighter's my goat, but then I take that away from Soldier and I want to die because I got to use Soldier too. That's also my goat. There's too many goats. I got like, dude, I want to pull for Ambi, but then I pull for Ambi and I got to bench Anton because that's 2 electric DPSs, and then I'm in depression because like Anton's also the goat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's too many characters. It's like I wanted Evelyn, but then I had to bend Soldier, and that's not Pog. There's too many characters I want, bro. There's too many go-to-ass characters. And being new to the game just sucks ass unless you want to spend. I ain't got the polychromes for that. Especially because I keep losing every fucking 50-50.
That'll do it for you.
Oh yeah, I thought it was cool that they're buffing. Dude, you know what? That's what I should have said. I should have said we should have copied buffs, bro. They
the Sambi buff and the Ellen buff?
Yeah, exactly. We should copy buff. Like, I want characters like GN buff, bro. Fucking buff that guy. Buff in Lin. They need the help. They feel so bad to play.
She needs something for sure. Like, I know she's good at what she does, but it feels like every time people talk about her, she just gets outclassed.
There's literally no reason to pull for In Lin. She doesn't do anything better than any other character in the game. She actually doesn't have a role in the game currently. It's kind of sad. Like, if you're gonna play her for like say like Jinchi, for example, just play Consorella. I mean, that's your favorite character. Just go play Consorella, bro, with her. Go play Consorella. Go play Jesha.
Her and Jinchi?
Consorella?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of her best teams.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Actually, wait, you have Furlova. You can play Furlova, Consorella, Jinchi. That's a team that works.
That sounds like such a weird team. I'm not opposed to it at all, though.
I mean, it works. It kills stuff. It's not like the best or anything, but it clears. It'd be like running fuck, what's a good example? I don't know. Maybe it's like running like Jafufu instead of lighter for Soldier 11 or some shit. Something like that. I don't know. It's not like technically the best, but like it works. It'll clear. If you want to have some fun.
Okay. Do I know when I'll be playing Genshin again? I'm not too sure. I know the next game that I'm like gonna play is Blue Protocol. We got access to that. there's another game that I don't know if I can share with you guys yet, but they invited me to get some, early access. Really, and I'm really excited to get this game. Like, even if I don't make content, I just want to play it. So if I get it cleared, I'll share that with you guys too. But Wuwa, Wuthering is probably going to be the next one that you see me play, if not Zenless. Because the Genshin when I did everything I needed to for the footage, so now I would just play it when I need to. But right now I need to play Wuthering. I was gonna say Genshin, but I need to play Wuthering.
Wait, are you trying to beat the game with your Mono Fusion team?
Well, this one is the Mono Havoc now, because for Lova, which I don't know. I want to beat it with them, right? Because that's what I got. And for Lova's just sick as shit, and I love Cancerella. But I also am trying to prepare for Augusta, so when she gets here. So I'm not gonna spend any pools on anything except like maybe the weapon. If I can get that for free, that'd be awesome. Um, and then when Augusta gets here, I want to be able to like just ball out for her, and then also for
I see you, bro. You don't like Seed, but you like That seems very hypocritical.
I'm not a feet guy. Like I'm not really in or against feet, but is like, so I'm very big on like in like Final Fantasy or those type of games. I do like the dancer class a lot. Like so,
Okay.
being reminiscent of a dancer and her having a ring blade. The ring blade reminds me of what's that girl's name from Soul Calibur? It starts with a Tira, I think is her name. The ring blade reminds me of that. So I'm like, yeah, I like this character. And then she has like the upside down little, freaking Eddie Guerrero spin kick or whatever with the blade. I'm like, oh yeah, that's sick.
Someone said they buffed Seed's feet. What the fuck does that even mean, bro? Dude, I thought it was crazy. In the live stream, they have the fucking chibi with the feet out too. Holy fucking shit, bro. They're going all out. They're going all out for that shit.
It was Tira. Thank you, Socks. Thank you. Yeah, I like her. She's cool.
Wait, what's your least favorite character in ZZZ?
Ooh, least favorite character. Probably still gonna be Panda. I'm not gonna lie to you. But if it wasn't Panda, if I have to eliminate the bears, that's hard.
Wait,
Eliminating
you're
the
gonna
bears.
say Ben is your second?
Yup.
Wait, what? Really? You don't like Ben?
Everyone else is so much cooler. It's not that I don't like Ben. You said least favorite. Like
Dude, Ben
Billy,
is so drippy.
Yeah, no, he's not drippier than Billy.
Billy's my goat.
That's what I'm saying. See, and then you got Anton.
Anton's my goat.
You see what I'm saying? Koleda's fucking pimping. So I'm like,
my goat.
Like, Ben's cool too, but I'm like, and then Lucy is fucking Tsundere Ojuo-sama, so I'm like, all right, I fuck with that. Grace is Grace, It's I don't really have too much to say about that. Base Ambi's design is really cool. Like in Soldier 11, or not Soldier 11, Soldier Zero's design, simple and clean. That like I like that. Honestly, Soldier would probably, if I couldn't pick the bears, my least liked might be Soldier. Or Corrin. Actually, it's Corrin. It's Corrin and then it's Soldier.
Corrin? Soldier? You don't like Soldier 11?
It's not that I don't like Soldier 11. She's just on the list of all of them, she's way towards the bottom.
That's fucked up, bro.
No, it's not. Like
that's fucked up, bro.
Nekomata. Okay, look. Nekomata, her personality, she actually has personality. She's just more active. I like that. Soldier 11's cool. I like, I don't hate her. She's not there. Rhinne is once again, hits.
Dude, I hate Rhinne so much. I fucking hate Rhinne.
I don't hate her. I can't hate Rhinne. She's a horrible cook, and
I hate her not because of like her personality. I hate her gameplay, bro. Anytime I accidentally evasive assist on her, I just want to die. Fuck her evasive assist, bro. I hate that character.
I feel you.
Also, someone told me, I don't know if it's true. Is the ultimate like bug during stun window or something? You can't do like the insta quick assist on it?
Oh, for Rhinne?
Yeah.
It's not a bug. It's designed that way. I don't know why it's designed that way. But there's the if you like look at R2, R2 knows how to do it. Like it's and other arena players know how to do it too. It's a specific thing that you do so that you don't have to wait for the animation and you still get the quick assist. I don't,
Is it using your
but I don't
EX
play my
beforehand?
arena, so I don't know. I'm not too sure. Yeah, because I don't play my arena. Like I think I threw my arena inside of the HIA, but I don't actually play her. And I think I have an M2 arena now as well. I have an M2 arena. I think I have an M3 or M4 Grace now. Oh, that's who I threw in here. It was Grace. Let me put Rhinne in here. Because at some point I will start to use Rhinne. She's very, yeah, I have an M2. M2 Rhinne is very strong. She's very useful.
Isn't just using EX at close range? I don't know. I remember EO said he doesn't like Astra because it makes the game too easy.
Oh yeah, no, I love Astra as a character. I do not like, I think she's a plague in this game. She should not be here.
Bro, how is Anton supposed to work without Astra?
I don't care. I don't care.
What?
She should not be here.
That's a fun. Have you played that comp before? That comp is fun as shit.
Astra should not be in the game.
No. Here's what you do: you keep Astra for that comp, and you delete it for the rest of the comps. You know what? I agree with
Okay, you know what? Yeah. She only works with Anton. I
Yes,
would accept that.
she's the Anton buff that he needs.
I would accept that. Yeah. I would accept that 100%. 100%.
Base. You know what? I agree completely. Then Astra is for Anton, and then no one else gets Astra.
Yeah, we'll take that.
I'm not a fan of, dude. One reason I don't like pulling supports in games or especially like stuff like that. I feel like I don't get to play the characters, and it pisses me off. Like Astra, you straight up don't even get to play her ever. So like, why the fuck do I have this character? That's why I like that Anton comp. At least I can actually play Astra. At least she like goes in and does like her twirl shit, and then you go to Anton, and then he drills you.
Mm-hmm. The only thing that I don't like is, well, not the only thing, but one of the big things that I don't like is like, I'm just not a fan of over centralizing supports that are too strong. And I get it from a free to play perspective, or like the casual player, the average player. That's the best thing since sliced bread for them, right? So I never want to take that away. But in the game like Zenless, where it's very active, you need to understand like how to play and what you're doing. Having a character like Astra, it creates, and I said it was going to do it, and here we are to this day where it did exactly that. It creates a crutch for players where like, I don't know what to do if I can't use Astra, right? Their whole aesthetic is putting Astra on a team. She super buffs the team, and then you don't have to think anymore, right? But now it's gotten to a point in Zenless where a lot of these teams are not teams. A lot of the floors are potentially stopping you from being able to do that. You can no longer do that. It's harder. You know, you need to actually think about the game or think about your decisions now. True, delete Shorekeeper Verena too. I mean, if you guys
I like
wanted
Verena.
to, sure. I don't hate
Verena's
either
cool.
of them. I think Shorekeeper is the equivalent of Astra. I think Astra is a little bit more egregious, but
I agree.
you know, that's kind of like the relevancy there.
Delete Shorekeeper. I'll agree with that. Fuck this character. I think it's you know, it's really weird because on one hand, I like the characters that they're pushing with like the mono element comps, but at the same time, I hate the fact that they're like trying to package the characters together. But the idea of not having like the generalist support just like be like the meta all the time is great. Actually, hold on. What do you feel about like the way that Wuwa has their like character structured, where it's like you have elements and then you have like damage archetype, and that's the way that they split the characters?
Wait, what?
So the way Wuwa splits their characters is by element and damage type, right? That's how characters pair together. So it's like your Havoc and Havoc characters can pair together. They have like boss from like outros and whatnot, or you have like a damage archetype, so like heavy attack or basic attack or like liberation, right? That's like the two major ways that characters are actually split up. How do you feel about like that system?
I don't think I've ever thought about it that way. What's the benefit to doing it that way, if you don't mind me asking?
The benefit, it makes them money because they can sell characters as packages.
The player benefit.
That's a great question, bro. You ask great questions. I don't know what let me think. What is the benefit from the player POV? I'm pretty pissed off about the system personally because I like playing quick swap and I don't want to feel like characters are like chained together. I don't know what would be a like actual benefit from it, but maybe the argument could be like it's no different than having say like anomaly, for example. It's like the same kind of thing, where it's like maybe like heavy attack damage is just like having anomaly and having like basic attack damage is having like attacker or whatever. But I don't know. I feel like with the recent changes that they're making, it feels like characters are just like hard tied to like those two specific archetypes for like pulling, and it feels like they're trying to like invalidate quick swap more and more. So like if I want to use Fulova on a team, for example, it has to either be with the Havoc buffer or it has to be with like another heavy attack damage character so I can buff that. Or if I want to use say who's another recent release? I mean, Lupa is a good example where if I want to use Lupa, I need to use her on either a fusion character or a basic attack damage character, or she's useless.
Yeah.
Because that's what she buffs. So that only works with the, I mean, mainly Brant and Encore are like the two characters that work with that. But I'm not a fan of like them like essentially like artificially limiting characters in that way. I find that kind of boring.
I can see that. I think to add into like that conversation, while I do agree with you, not to say that I'm like leading it up to a disagree or anything like that, I've always been a fan of the not so much exclusive teams, but like making sure that a team is a team, right? I don't like it's one thing to have like a general usage of a team or like a general like team structure that you can build, but I'm not really a fan of like everyone works with everyone, you know, and that's kind of like a reason why I don't like Shorekeeper, why I don't like Astra, why I don't like Robin. You know, they're great for the average player. But when I'm looking into how do I build this team so that it feels like a team, I think Wuthering's whole thing, right? That's what I was talking about earlier with like the character kits. Their identity is that character. So you guys don't really have like an arrow erosion team, you know, or a specific fusion team. Like this fusion team does fusion things. You have a fusion DPS named Brant or Chang Li, depending on like how you want to rotate that, or even Lupa. And that team does whatever that team is supposed to do. There's not another team like it in the game, right? The same
Right?
thing with Jinxie. You don't like there's not another Jinxie like team. You just have a Jinxie team. Like you just play Jinxie. You don't have team archetypes. That's what I'm trying to say. You guys don't really have archetypes. You the character is the team, you know, and you're building the team around that character to do whatever it is that that character wants to do. So in a game like that, I feel like you kind of have to just take it when it comes to they're releasing them in pairs, Zani and Phoebe. You know, maybe they could have separated them by one patch. So Zani one patch, then you know, a rerun, and then Phoebe next patch. And that might make it a little easier for you guys to be able to pull. But now you don't get the full effect of playing that team as quickly as you can. But I think ultimately that is the game plan, or rather the end game for what Wuthering has going on right now.
Yeah, I don't like that personally. Maybe it'll be fine as the game expands more, but maybe I only feel this way because there's like so few characters, and so like not very many characters can actually like fill those archetypes, right? Like say like liberation damage buffing, for example, doesn't really do anything in the game because there's not really like any good characters that actually need liberation damage.
Yeah.
Right? Or there's no good rather there's no like good liberation damage dealers, right? There's Sheng Liao, but that guy is kind of mid. And then there's like I mean I guess like Lupa does liberation damage too, but she's not like the main damage dealer in the comp. She's mainly here to buff the other two characters.
Mhm.
So maybe as they expand more, systems like that would feel fine. But that makes me like question why they added things like Spectrofrazzle and like the negative statuses and stuff like that this early in the game. I feel like that then if anything, if they wanted to add the system, maybe this is like a system they add like maybe like 2 or even like 3 years into the game. Because yeah, actually, now that we mentioned that, like the like damage archetype things that they have, like the basic attack damage or like liberation or whatever, those aren't even like fully fleshed out. You have like maybe 1 or 2 characters that can be running that type of comp, and that's it. Or as they're doing it now, it's like you have to run the arrow package, you have to run the spectral package, Zoni Phoebe, arrow package, Cartethia Tricona. You have to run Mono Fusion, Lupa Branch Li, or the comps feel like pretty scuffed in terms of damage. Like the damage fallout from not running Biz feels really bad too. I'm not sure. So I'm not too familiar with like the calcs in ZZZ. Is the damage fallout from not running like Biz teams like that bad for most characters?
Uh, Not specifically. It kind of just depends on like what you're going for and who's doing something. So like if I'm running a best in slot team for instance like uh Sandy, then what I'm getting out of that is more along the lines of like everything she wants, which is staying on field, is gonna give me what I'm looking for. But if I'm playing this in a way where like I don't have her best in slot, which she doesn't have a best in slot right now, then I have to make up for that. I have to figure out a way to play it and get everything that I can out of her. I am not doing this rotation correct at all. Turn on the game, I got you. My bad, guys.
Eve? Oh, Eve Astra. That's one I've been told falls off pretty hard. But that's like that's not how the majority of characters will play, I don't think. Whereas I feel like a large amount of characters in this game, if they're not running like specifically their BIS, they fall off pretty hard. But as the game is currently, the amount of HP in the game, it's like even if you're not running your BIS and they do fall off hard, you can still clear. Like even if you're running like the Sanhua with the Cartethia, like that'll still clear, even though it's like a without Chacona. I mean, assuming like S0 and not S1, which in which case it goes like way higher. That's only like a fuck. What is it? Like a 30% damage difference, I think, between Sanhua and Chacona, if I remember correctly, something like that.
Yeah,
which isn't like the world, but it's pretty big. And then you go to like signatures and it gets to like 40 something %.
I can see that. I think for you mentioned the Evelyn stuff, and her with whether or not you're playing her with Lucy, I mean she's really good regardless. So having Astra is like definitely good, but you don't necessarily need it.
I hope they remove, or actually, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just take 4 stars and let's make it so 4 stars plug in the gaps and actually fill the gaps, and that way, these the systems in the game feel more whole.
Yes,
that would be a better way to handle it too.
Agree with that.
We could have like negative status 4-star over here that could pair with like Zani Phoebe, or in case you don't have the Phoebe, you could just like pair with the Zani, so Zani feels whole with the Rover or whatever, or like Cartethia feels whole without Chacona. That would be cool. Or we can have characters like Yuan Wu get retroactively buffed because we need more male characters in the game. Wait, how do you feel about the gachas having negative male characters in them?
You know, that's what sells. Maybe. Would I rather them like have more males? Of course, but I'm not gonna be upset if we didn't get a bunch of males either.
I think having one every once in a while is cool. Like if like one in every like 3 or whatever, that's like a 30. Yeah, one in every 3. That's fine. Like that's like 33%. It's still super. That's still super lopsided. The way we have it right now is like 1 in every 6, which is fucking ridiculous. 1 in 6 is crazy, bro. I think that's too much.
Yeah, that's what they're into, though, man. You know, everybody wants the hot ladies. No one wants to pull on the hot guys.
I'm over here repping Anton. Out, bro, I'm over here repping Lighter. I'm over here repping fuck. What other dudes are there?
Brant, man. Brant was cool as fuck. Spider-Man Pirate. I needed that.
True, I'm repping Brant, bro.
I pulled that immediately.
I have 2 different accounts with
Brant. He's my favorite male.
That guy pops off. Wait, your favorite male isn't Lighter?
No.
I thought you were the fighting game guy. How do you not like the fighting game character?
Yeah, but like Brant, Spider-Man.
I'm surprised by
Spider-Man's cool, you know? Like if you were to ask me, like, yo, do you want your favorite superhero or do you want your favorite fighting game character? I'm gonna tell you Spider-Man every day of the week. Every single day of the week, bro. Spider-Man's fucking goated.
Bro, Lighter is badass. Have you seen Lighter's VA cosplaying Lighter? That guy's hot as fuck. Holy shit.
Fuck. Isn't Lighter's VA damn it, chat? Who is it? It's
Alex.
Alex, yeah. We know him. That's we know. Well, I know him through Afro, but yeah, we know we know him. Which it's been like a crazy journey to see him, like, just get into voice acting the way he has.
They need to make a meta character that's a dude. True. ZZ, there's 2 A ranks on the banner, not 3, so it's easy to get M6. Oh yeah, that's interesting too. ZZ only has 2 A ranks on banner, whereas Wuwa has 3 A ranks on banner. I think
you guys have more A ranks than us though, yeah?
Do we? There's like no shot. So. Let me see. We have 11
A ranks.
Yeah,
that might be more than me. Or me. Wow, like I own Zenless.
Maybe you do.
Piper. We have Pulchra, Nicole.
1,
Anton.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Regular Anby.
No, it's the same amount actually. Exactly the same amount. That's interesting. It's Sokaku, Seth, Pulchra, Piper, Nicole, Lucy, Corin, Billy, Anton, Ambi, Ben. It's literally the
Lucifer
exact same.
Says we have 12. Oh, no,
Pan.
Yeah.
I forgot Pan.
See, I told you Pan was worthless.
Dude, how did I forget him?
You didn't even remember him.
Dude, I literally use him. What the fuck? Wait,
that's how bad he
1, 2, 3, 4,
is.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, you have 12. And then you have Monoto, so you're gonna have 13. Dude, you know what's funny? We haven't gotten a single fucking we haven't gotten a single 4-star in like 7 months or some shit like that. It's fucking crazy. We're never getting a 4-star, bro.
Ridiculous, man. They don't want us to prosper.
4 stars don't prosper, bro. You got Sanhua and then you got Sanhua at home. That's it. There's no prospering for the 4 stars, bro. I mean, I guess Donjin is Piper. And then you have Sanhua is Nicole, and that's about it. Oh wait, no. Wait, yeah. Mortefi is like Lucy, I guess. And then no one else is viable? Based. We were trying to match ZZ for the number of 4 stars. Technically Wu was down 2 4 stars right now. I wouldn't mind not having more A-ranks if they gave more S.
I fucked it up. Dude, I saw this kill with Sambi, and I was like, I want it. Like, I want to try it. And, just, you know, Typhon's her easiest matchup, so she should be able to just get it. But it's not as easy when you don't know the angle for it. But, you know, I'll figure it out.
Wait, are you my good luck charm? I just hit attack and crit damage. I gotta hit crit rate and energy regen. You're my good luck charm, right?
You got it. Go for it.
Okay. I hit defense HP. Yo, fuck you. You ruined my piece. Dude. You guys
somebody in
do me
chat.
like that.
Not me.
You just put a curse on my account.
No. Somebody in chat did that. Not me.
Nah,
for sure.
Dude, it's cooked. Dude, what the fuck is that? Defense HP. Aw, that's depression. I've been farming. I'm trying to get my my Contarella up, but getting her echoes up is so fucking annoying because she needs energy regen as well. If you don't run ER main stat, so I'm trying to get ER, crit rate, and crit damage. So it feels like I'm gearing Brand. Oh wait, you're pulling Brand, right? You know how disgustingly annoying that character is to build, right?
I already have Brand.
Wait, have you built him?
Yeah. On my like main. Yeah. I have Brand. Brand's solid. I like Brand. And I have his weapon, so that might have made it way easier to build him.
Dude, having to get 3 stats in a row is so fucking annoying. Oh my god, I hate building Brand. I had to build Brands on the new account I have. Dude, fuck this character. Why does he have to have 3 stats, bro? Be normal. Just pick 2.
They don't want to. He's Spider-Man. He needs it all.
Fuck Spider-Man. What standard banner characters are stronger? ZZ or Wuwa? Probably.
What was the question?
Which game has a better standard banner 5 stars? Wuwa or ZZ? I was thinking technically Kalchara is like not god awful if played properly. And you play him with like Inland, he's probably like Soldier in terms of viability. And then Encore is actually like legitimately good, and then Rhinne is good too.
I think you cut out that whole time.
Dude, what the fuck? All right. So I was saying Kalcharo is probably equivalent to like Soldier if you play Kalcharo properly. but he's like the hardest character to play in the game. Rhinne is OP, and then Encore is really strong, like GN tier strong. Like she's actually like a limited DPS. Whereas
I like Encore.
What are the ZZ ones? It's Nekomata, who sucks. Lycon is good. Coletta's okay. Soldier's okay, and then Rina's okay. Yeah, I think Wuwa's is better, but it's like not that much of a difference. I have 3 gen chins? Yo, your life sucks or what? Grace? Oh yeah.
That's what's happening. Okay, she's coming out with a quick assist. Oh.
DZ standard sucks if only M0? Oh yeah, true. You need M1 as well.
I get it now.
True. Yeah. Wuwa definitely clears. That one definitely goes to
That's
Wuwa.
throwing me off so bad. Like, her using that quick assist. Yeah, I don't want Typhon to jump off yet. He jumped off anyway? Oh, I did it too early.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm so fucking tired.
I could tell. I was looking at you. You're out of there.
I'm tired as dude.
Do
I've
your
been
thing, man. Do
I've
your
been
thing.
awake
Go to sleep.
since 11 p.m. yesterday. Yeah, I'm going to bed. Anything else? Or where can people find you?
You guys can find me at EO or EOverse, one of the two. But I mean, I'm always here doing my thing, you know. Or Ioku on Twitter. That also works out too.
Bet. I'm gonna go. It was fun talking to you.
Fun talking to you too, big dog. Do your thing. Have a good night. Enjoy yourself. And peace out, Girl Scout.
What?
I don't know. I don't know where I got it from. I just started saying it. And it kind of just like, you know, it works.
What was the thing that you called yourself earlier? The inches something?
The inch collector?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll see you later, Mr. Inch Collector.
Oh my gosh.
That's your own nickname, bro. Own it. All right, chat. I'm gonna go. If you haven't already, hit the follow button. Subscribe. All that banger stuff. Check out the 7-day Wuwa clear. The ZZZ video, how I beat ZZZ with level 50 characters, will be coming out soon. It'll be in a similar fashion to the Wuwa video. That video was a big Gigo Omega banger. I'm I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I was hooked in the brain this whole conversation. This was supposed to happen 7 hours ago, but then I lost track of time. So I don't know. If you guys want to see more of this shit, hit the like and the subscribe button. Thanks. It lets me know you guys want more, and it also makes my algorithm do better, which makes me want to make more content instead of making less content, which is kind of poggers. Tell me who won for drama. We all lost because we all play gacha games. Banger.